All right, Shalom Israel. Welcome back to Wednesday night class. Good to see everybody. Salakia for the late start. We had some business to handle, but it's good to see everybody online. It's good to see everybody in person. And let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, shout out and shalom to Kawakam in Guatemala and his congregation. Shout out and shalom to Stream of Wisdom, Rochester, New York. Stream of Wisdom, Norfolk, Virginia. Stream of Wisdom, Houston, Texas. And shout out and shalom to everybody that watches online. Hopefully we can edify the body and there's something to gain and something to reflect on after every class that we teach. As much as I would like to move on to something else, but there's always something to keep pulling from this Unbecoming Cain. And the purpose of this series is to look at and identify what exists in this archetype of Cain that could exist in us as mentality, mind frame, vulnerability, weaknesses, passions, ills, attitude, speech, outlook. There's a lot of things to reflect on, and let's go ahead and get started on this. Let's get kind of recap real quick from last week. Psalms 25 and 9 and Psalms 32 and 8. If we can read that real quick. Psalms 25 verse 9 and then Psalms 32 verse 8.
Psalm to the 25 verse 9. The meek will he guide in judgment.
And we talked about the benefits of being meek is that you allow yourself to be guided in judgment. All right. So let's get hold that, and somebody else give me Psalms 32 and 8. Or Psalms 32 and 9.
Okay, right.
Got it.
Psalms 32 verse 9.
No, let him get it.
Oh, okay.
Psalms 32 and 8 and 9.
God, Psalms chapter 32, verse 9. Be ye not as the horse.
So we know the horse is an animal known for stubbornness and its resistance. So that's not a personality type that the Most High wants us to be like. Read on.
Or as the mule.
Or as the what?
Or as the mule.
And even more stubborn beast of burden. Read on.
Which have no understanding.
And they don't have understanding. Read on.
Whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle.
Because it needs some type of lasso in order to make the mule or the horse function. It needs some type of bridle or some type of leash or some type of guide, some type of instrument to put over the neck and steer the neck and steer the body. But the Most High said that we as people shouldn't have these characteristics where we have to have an actual collar around our necks and being moved around with some type of leash because we're that stubborn. Read. No, let that go. Nagaha.
Yes, sir.
Read where you are.
Psalm 25 verse 9.
And we're going to read verse 8, Ahmad, in your chapter. Read.
Psalm 25 verse 9. The meek will he guide in judgment.
But the lowly, not the stubborn, but the meek, we read last week about the meek are the ones that they can be told what to do and they can execute what they're told. They're lowly, they're not opinionated, and their pride is not causing them to be so stiff-necked where they cannot be manipulated, molded, or guided. He says the meek, he shall what?
The meek will he guide in judgment.
So we read last week about how the bridle or the leash that we have as humans is our meekness. That's the leash that the Most High can pull on, and he can drive and guide you in whatever direction you need to go in your life. So that's what the Most High uses to guide righteous men, is his meekness. Read on.
And the meek will he teach his ways.
And also the meek can be taught.
No.
So the meek can be guided, and the meek could be taught. Now read what you got. I'm out of verse 8.
A meek person can be taught.
Mm-hmm.
God, Psalms chapter 32, verse 8. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go.
And if we're meek enough, and if we're lowly enough, the Most High can do what?
Instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go.
The Most High can guide you. So the temperament, the disposition, and the virtue that we need to possess in order for the Most High to keep teaching us and keep leading us and keep guiding us is our meekness and our lowliness. Without meekness and without lowliness in spirit, You cannot be taught anything, and you cannot be shown anything. You cannot be instructed with anything. You cannot learn anything if you're not meek enough or lowly enough in spirit. If your pride is the equivalent of a mule or a donkey or an ox, then you can't be told, you can't be led. You can't be guided. You can't be instructed. So he's showing right off the bat the benefits of this meekness, right? So is that in verse 8?
I will guide thee with mine eye.
And we read last week about how the Most High said, if you're meek enough, the Most High don't need a lasso. He don't need a leash around your neck. He don't need to put a collar on us. He says, if we're meek enough, he says, all I have to do is guide you with my eyes. I can direct you in the direction that I want you to go, and you could use my vision in your mind to go where I want you to go, and everything that you do and everything you touch will be blessed.
And that means we're more connected to the Most High's directions.
Absolutely.
We don't have to be forced like a horse.
None to be forced or prodded or whipped, or somebody doesn't have to put spurs on their shoes or their heels and spur you in the flank of your hip to get you to get you to go, get you to move. You don't have to be spurred. You don't have to be whipped. None of these things. Like a horse jockey or something that carries a whip in his hand. You don't have to be dealt with like this if you're meek enough, if you're humble enough. The Most High can teach you where you need to go. So we looked at last week Genesis chapter 4 verse 13. Let's get that real quick. We looked at this last week about how Cain was a criminal, but he had issue. And
Genesis chapter 4, verse 13.
read this.
And Cain said unto the Most High, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
See, he said, my punishment is what?
Greater than I can bear.
So he didn't accept the Most High's punishment. Even though he was criminal, even though he was guilty, he just couldn't accept it. He was unaccepting of the Most High's judgment and the Most High's verdict. He didn't want to accept it. This is too much. And unfortunately, that's a common issue amongst us as people. I'm explaining it. Give me Lamentations chapter 3, verse 39. Give me Lamentations chapter 3, verse 39.
Lamentations 3:39, 3 and 39.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore did the living man complain?
It says, wherefore does the what?
A living man complain.
Correct. Give me that definition of complain. He says, wherefore does the living man complain? Now, when we read about Cain not accepting of the Most High's judgment, of the Most High's verdict, he's complaining. This is greater than I could bear. This is too much. This punishment is overboard. First of all, you just killed your brother. And now you're saying it's overboard. Now you're saying
the punishment's too much.
I can't bear this. It's too much to bear. I can't handle the judgment. You've been out of pocket, but you're complaining. Give me that definition of complain.
Come.
Give me the first. Give me 2 and 4.
Come. Complain. 1828 Webster Dictionary. Point number 2. It says, to utter expressions of censure or resentment.
Of censor.
Censor.
Censor or what?
Or resentment.
Man, we complain, but when do we complain? Read it again, Ahmad.
Wherefore does the living man complain? A man for the punishment of his sins.
So it said a man for the what?
For the punishment of his sins.
Do you see how backwards this is? We do things that are out of order. We get judged, and then we complain about the judgment. And we're the ones that do what, Karaya?
It says, to utter expressions of censor or resentment.
We're the ones that are resentful, and we're the ones that are angry, but yet we're the ones that are guilty. That really doesn't make a lot of sense. He says, wherefore does the living man complain, or what else, Karaya?
It says, to murmur
or
to find fault.
And this is what Cain is doing. This is what Cain is doing to the Most High. When he's telling the Most High, this judgment is too much. I can't handle this. This is more than I can bear. I don't like this decision. He's complaining and he's finding fault. And what else? Number 4?
Point number 4. To charge, to accuse of an offense, to present an accusation against a person to a proper officer.
It says, so now he's presenting an accusation against a person, but it's the Most High that he's talking to. This is what he's saying when he's saying my punishment is greater than I could bear. And that's the sick side of mankind. That's the sick side of men. That's the sick side of women. When we do wrong, but yet we're the victim. But yet we're the ones that are out of pocket, and we're the ones that have no accountability for our actions whatsoever. There's no accountability. We take no responsibility. All we say is that this is not fair. But we never look at the criminality of what we do. But we love to play the victim. So give me that again in Lamentations chapter 3, verse 39.
Lamentations 3:39. Wherefore doth the living man complain? A man for the punishment of his sin.
It says, but it's only, you would think that if the Most High is stinging me, if the Most High is punishing me for my sins, shouldn't I accept the judgment because I was wrong? But why don't we accept the judgment? Because we don't think we're wrong. And this is why Cain is saying, this is too much for me to bear. This punishment is more than I could bear. This is unfair. You know, you're overboard. He's charging the Most High for being overboard. He's telling the Most High you're being extreme.
Yeah.
You're being extreme in your decision making. But I'm not looking at the fact that I just killed my brother.
Right.
But all I'm looking at is this punishment is too much. Yes, sis.
And say also kind of like we don't have a good estimation on what the punishment will be for an action. So there's like the surprise or this resentment when it comes, or because you're doing something and you have no idea what the consequences will be. You think like you don't like being in trouble, you just would not.
You would think so. You would think that if a person doesn't like the feeling of getting judgments and verdicts put on them, you would think that they would be more careful and more cautious about the things that they do to get judged, or be more careful of how they conduct themselves. You would think so if a person don't agree with the punishment. But a lot of times, we look at the crime and we do crimes out of passion, and then when it comes to paying the price for it, we don't want to pay the price for it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to pay the price for being out of order. And we flip it somehow and say, you know what, I find fault with the person that put this judgment on me.
As if it's not us.
As if it's not me.
Right.
And that's what's so awkward about men and women is the fact that we all do it. We all get out of pocket and get out of line. And that's why it's not about us pointing a finger at anybody. But it's only about looking at the aspects that exist in Cain that can also exist in us.
Mm-hmm.
About never taking accountability for the things that we do wrong. And then when the decisions are made against us, we can't take it. We don't like it. And we hate the people that bring about the judgment.
Okay.
But hardly do we ever, where you at? You in Lamentations 3 and 39, right? Give me Job 7 and 20. Give me Job chapter 7 verse 20. Hardly do we ever analyze what we do wrong and ask ourselves the right questions. Read that.
Job chapter 7, verse 20. I have sinned.
You said what?
I have sinned.
Hardly ever do we take this approach. What approach do we hardly ever take? I have what?
I have sinned.
I made a mistake. When did Cain ever say I sinned?
It's not recorded, bro.
Never. You're never going to read where Cain said I sinned.
Because he didn't. Because he never.
Because he didn't think he was wrong. We don't really take this approach, but we should take this approach. But you never read about Cain saying, I have sinned. You never hear him say anything about accountability. The only thing he complains about is the punishment. He's complaining about the judgment. But you never really hear him say, hey man, I have sinned. Read on.
I have sinned. What shall I do unto thee?
It says, what we don't do is acknowledge our mistakes and ask the Most High, what shall I do unto thee? What does that mean? Say it again. Say it again. I'm sorry, somebody said something. How can I make right? That's what we never ask. We're always complaining about the decisions that are brought against us, and we have no accountability whatsoever. We never look at ourselves and say, what role did I play in this madness that I'm in right now, in this circumstance that I'm in right now? What role did I play in this circumstance? But the most righteous perspective is to acknowledge the fact that I did make a mistake. I did sin. That's how I got in this situation to begin with. And my next course of thinking should be what, Nagar?
What shall I do unto thee?
What do I got to do to get right with the Most High? Do you ever hear about Cain saying this?
Nope.
The only thing he complained about is what?
Punishment.
The punishment. Too much. It's overboard. It's extreme. I think this is not fair. But you never hear him say, man, I made a mistake, and what do I need to do to get right with the Most High? Because if I understand who the Most High is, read on.
What shall I do unto thee, O thou preserver of men?
If I really understand what the Most High is looking for, and if I really believe in the Most High, I know that if I acknowledge my mistakes, if I can come clean about the things I do wrong, and I can acknowledge that, hey, I'm a sinner, and what I got to ask myself those questions. What do I need to do to get right? And because I believe I can ask these questions because I know that the Most High is a what?
Preserver of men.
He's a preserver of men. So the Most High is in the business of preserving men. Now, he will destroy you also, with no doubt and no question whatsoever. But that's not the business that the Most High likes to be in. That's why the Most High says in Ezekiel, oh, why will you die, O house of Israel? It's not about destroying and killing. The Most High is a power of love. And I hope that we get this message across, that we're only here to say this because we love everybody that's in attendance, and we love everybody that listens, and our message is a message of love. But it's also a message of accountability. It is a message also of responsibility, taking responsibility for what you do wrong, and acknowledging your mistakes. Yes, sir.
Our condition rests in his hands.
Yeah, it does. And so we say what we're saying because everything we're saying is out of love. We don't want to see anybody destroyed. You know, the scriptures say, rejoice not at thine enemies' fall. You're not even supposed to rejoice when your enemies fall. Your greatest enemy. Even when your greatest enemy dies, they say don't rejoice. Because it could easily be me. So it's not about us wishing harm on anybody, and what we teach is not about threatening anybody. But what we're trying to teach is explaining what's the proper mentality to take if you know that you've been making mistakes and you've been out of pocket. Do you take the Cain approach and say, man, this ain't fair? Or do you take the righteous approach like Job and say, I am a sinner? What?
What shall I do unto thee, O preserver of men?
Then I got to ask myself those questions. What shall I do unto thee? Read on in verse 40. Ahmad.
John, Lamentations chapter 3, verse 40.
Yep.
Let us search and try our way.
It says, so when I'm asking myself these questions, what shall I do unto thee, O preserver of men? When I'm asking myself these questions, what am I doing? What am I doing when I'm asking myself these questions?
Self-search.
What does that mean when you're searching yourself? What does that mean?
Self-examination.
You're doing some inventory. You're doing self-examination. Most people make mistakes in life, blame the judgment, blame the person bringing the judgment on me, but they never take the alternative approach, which is to ask the Most High, what do I need to do to get right with you?
Yeah.
First of all, let me say I'm a sinner first. I'm a sinner first. I made mistakes. Then let me find out what I need to do to you to get right with you, because you're the preserver of mankind. And then I come back and do what? Verse 40.
Let us search and try our ways.
Now I got to do some examination. I got to start asking myself real tough questions. Where was I wrong at? How did I get myself in this situation? How did I make myself an enemy of the Most High? Or how did I make myself, how did I put myself in a position where I'm cursed and nothing I'm doing is working? I got to ask myself some tough questions. But do we actually take this approach and take this line of thinking of, I'm a sinner, what do I need to do to get right? Because the Most High will preserve me. Let me start thinking about what I do wrong. Where did I go wrong at in my life? What mistakes did I make? Was it my mouth? Was it my behavior? Was it my hatred? Was it my jealousy? Was it my envy? Was it my foolishness? What caused me to fall? Do we ask ourselves these things? Do we do the inventory? Do we do some homework? Some self-examination? Read on.
Let us search and try our ways.
It says, let us search and try whose ways?
Our own.
Our own ways. If you know you're wrong, the proper line of thinking is to dig a little deeper and to find out, where do you make mistakes at? Where do you make your most mistakes, your biggest mistakes? Where are you at your weakest points? Where are you when you just are on the verge of throwing it all away? Are you most angry? Are you suffering from disappointment? Are you in the bitterness of your soul? Are you bitter? What's causing you to falter? And what's causing you to get off course? You got to ask yourself these questions, because you got to know yourself. You got to understand yourself. And you got to know where you're weak at, and you got to know where you're strong at. But you just can't blame everything on the condition and blame everything on the judgment. The judgment, the penalty that I got to pay is too heavy. The price I got to pay for this mistake is too much. Everybody makes mistakes. Why has my life got to go downhill like this? Why do I have to suffer like this? I instead of being the victim, I gotta change my mind frame and start looking at, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? How was I offensive to the Father? Who did I offend? Did I offend man, or did I offend the Most High? Why do I feel like the Most High is against me? We got to ask ourselves these questions. That's part of doing inventory. Part of doing inventory is asking those questions. You just can't look at the judgment and look at your condition and complain about your condition and then find fault with everybody around you and not ever look at yourself. You got to be able to look at yourself and say, what role did I play in the mistakes that I made? Is it my parents' fault? Is it my husband's fault? My wife's fault? Is it my friends and my brother, my sister? Am I just going to complain and blame everybody else and I'm never going to do no inventory? Is my boss, my wicked boss? I'm never going to do any inventory? Or am I going to sit back and say, you know what? Let me find out the root cause of my disconnection with the Father. Cain never did that. Cain never, ever asked any questions about what he did wrong. Cain never asked any questions on how to get right back with the Most High. He never did no inventory whatsoever, no self-examination. Only thing out of his mouth was, this punishment is greater than I could bear. This is too much.
It was still about him.
Still about him. Still about him. Never no questions asked. Right? Give me Ecclesiastes and Apocrypha 2 and 16. Never any questions.
Ecclesiastes 2 and 16.
Read that.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him.
Why didn't Cain ask no questions?
Don't fear the Lord.
Because he didn't have what?
He didn't have no fear.
A person that don't ask no questions, they don't have no what? They don't have no fear of the Lord. That's why they don't ask no questions. That's why they don't ask themselves the hard questions. What role did I play in this mistake? Where have I been disconnected at with the Father? They don't ask no questions because I really don't fear the Lord. So it takes fear of the Lord to ask yourself these questions. Did I make a mistake? Did I do something to get the Most High angry? Let me acknowledge my sins. Did I ever confess that I'm a sinner? Read it again.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him.
So he said, they that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto who?
Unto the Lord.
So people that fear the Lord will sit back and ask themselves, what does the Most High want from me now? What shall I do unto thee? Like we read a minute ago in Job chapter 20. What 7 and 20. What shall I do unto thee? What does the Most High want from me? How can I get right back with the Most High? Where have I gone wrong in my life? We have to ask ourselves these things.
That's the person that wants to make things right.
Yeah. If I want to.
I want to make things right. This person's seeking to not inconvenience their life based off their own actions.
Yeah.
There's one person that wants to make things right and seek penitence. They want to be right, repent. And there's one person that wants to make their life more convenient and comfortable.
Yeah.
He's not on the path of making his life right. I harm my family, I hurt my family. I know. I really stained my name. None of that was his conversation.
I took out my brother.
I killed my brother, stained my name, hurt my family. None of those points that he is never written that he spoke about it.
Never.
But it's written that he was considering about the rest of his life.
Yeah. How hard his life is going to
The
be.
rest of his life. How
It's about to be real
I'm
hard.
affected.
How-
I'm affected. I killed my brother. Now look how I'm affected.
Yeah. Look what you're telling me is about to happen to me. It's too much for me. I can't handle the punishment. Yes, sir.
Right. His fear was losing his quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because the quality of life is about to change.
He was supposed to stay the same. He was supposed to have the same quality of life. Kill his brother and things supposed to go on as normal.
And the quality of life is about to change. And the title of this class is called Unbecoming Cain, Part 11, Stage 1 of a Life in Crisis. This is only stage 1. Because there's steps and levels to this, to dysfunction.
That's true.
And so this is stage 1 of a life in crisis. So yes, when he's only concerned about his condition and his quality of life not changing and getting any worse, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about making right. And what we have to do is ask ourselves, how do we get right? We're all sinners. And that's why the class is called Unbecoming Cain, to not be like Cain. The whole purpose of this is to not repeat the mistakes that this man made.
But nothing like this man's archetype.
Nothing. And so we ask ourselves what? Read it again.
Ecclesiastes 2:16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him,
Read on.
and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
The law represents what? Order,
Structure. This.
obedience, rules. I'm trying to get back in order. My concern is to get back in order. I want to get back on the Most High's good side. I want to get back right. So if we really fear the Lord, we're looking at what do I need to do to get right with the Most High. Read on.
Verse 17. They that fear the Lord will prepare their heart.
And it says, they that fear the Lord will do what?
Prepare their heart
How will I prepare my heart?
and humble their souls.
How will I prepare my heart?
Humble their souls.
I prepare my heart with what? Humility. Man, I've been wrong. I've been guilty. I've been full of mistakes. I've been going about doing things the wrong way. So some men will humble themselves if they fear the Lord. Some men won't humble themselves. Some men will ask themselves the questions, what do I need to do to get right back with the Most High because I'm a sinner? And some men will say, you know what, I'm only going to complain because I don't like my condition the way it is. Read on.
And humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord.
It says saying what?
We will fall into the hands of the Lord, and not into the hands of men.
You know what? I rather fall into the hands of the Lord instead of the hands of men. I rather the Most High sting me than the Most High depart from me, and then men take it out on me, because men are unmerciful. I'd rather put my life in the hands of the Most High, like David said when he took the census, and the Most High gave him 3 punishments, and he says, you know what? You can be subdued by your enemies for 7 years, or you can suffer 3 years at the hands of your enemies, 7 years of famine, or let the Most High choose the punishment. He says, you know what? I'd rather the Most High choose the punishment. Because the Most High, at the end of the day, I know He's more merciful than other people. I'd rather the Most High pick my judgment and pick my punishment than for me to be punished out in the world. Because at the end of the day, the Most High is way more merciful and way more loving than man is. He said, read it again.
Come.
I got you, Nagaho.
Ecclesiastes 2:18, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord, and not into the hands of men. For as His majesty is, so is His mercy.
He says, for as His majesty is,
so is His mercy.
So is His what?
Mercy.
So I'd rather make right with the Most High and suffer what I got to suffer from the Most High, because at the end of the day, the Most High is what?
Mercy.
Merciful. Yes, sir.
So does it also mean I would rather fall and wait on the Lord to restore me than take matters into my own hand?
I'd rather confess my sins and my mistakes than double down and walk away in my pride. I'd rather take my licks from the Lord and confess my mistakes than walk off in my pride, not knowing what's about to happen to me. Mm-hmm. And we got and this is what this. If you fear the Lord, you'll do this. Give me Psalms 4:2.
Psalm 4, verse 2. O ye sons of men, how long will ye turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing?
He said, how long will you what?
How long will you turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing?
He says, how long will you seek after what?
Leasing.
Leasing. What is leasing?
Leasing.
It's real simple.
Falsehood.
He says
Lies.
Falsehood and what else?
Lies.
He says, when do we seek after falsehood and lies?
We're more concerned about vanity.
Say it again.
We're more concerned about vanity.
Well, we're more concerned about falsehood and lies because we don't want anybody to tell me the truth about my mistakes. I don't want to learn the truth about my mistakes. I ask myself no questions. What did I do wrong? I want to hold on to the idea that I don't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. It's their fault. Mm-hmm. So is Cain really going to blame it on his brother? Or is he going to blame it on the Most High that his life has to change now? Is he never going to see what he did wrong? But the natural man will always look at falsehood and lies. It wasn't me. It wasn't my intention. I didn't try to do that. It wasn't my intention. I didn't try to do that. I wasn't trying to kill him. I just wanted to show him. I just want to show him, teach him a lesson.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, sir.
We hide behind lies.
Yes, we do.
It's a place to hide.
It is. He said, but we seek after leasing and falsehood. But why would somebody do that? Give me this right quick, Karai. Read this right here. And that man. Why would a person not ask themselves any questions and never acknowledge that they were wrong? Why would somebody not want to hear the truth about their mistakes and not acknowledge their mistakes? Read that. Follow page 334. Read that.
Follow page 335. And that man is crazy.
It says, and what's wrong with that man?
That man is crazy.
It said that man is what?
Crazy.
What makes a person not want to see themselves in a guilty fashion? Why would somebody never want to see the truth about the dirt that they do wrong or the mistakes that they make? He said what?
That man is crazy.
What man is crazy?
Who, speaking falsely instead of truly.
He says a person that's crazy, they're not thinking straight. They're not sound in mind for somebody to actually try to never acknowledge what they do wrong. If I don't ever acknowledge what I do, what the mistakes I make and what I do wrong in my life and how I hurt people, and I'm never accountable, he said that man is what?
That man is crazy.
That what?
It says, who speaking falsely instead of truly.
He says, it speaketh falsely instead of what?
Instead of truly.
This is why the Most High said, man, our people seek after leasing. We rather hear more lies than hear more truth, because at the end of the day, the bottom of it all, we're not right in our minds. We're not in our right mind frame. You got to be crazy to not want to hear the truth about what you do wrong. You never want to hear what you do wrong. It's always everybody else's fault. You're always the victim. You don't want to hear no truth, so you ask yourself no questions. What did I do? Where could I have been better? Hold this real quick. Give me this real quick. Give me James chapter 5 verse 14. He said that man is what?
That man is crazy.
Hold on. Before we get there, I want you to finish this real quick.
Okay.
Because I want to skip on to something else. He said that man is crazy. That what?
Who speaking falsely instead of truly.
Read.
While still committing iniquity.
He says, I never did what? I never changed. I never changed, and I never asked myself, what did I do wrong?
Right.
I'm not in my right mind frame. If I'm going to be in my right mind frame, if I'm not going to be crazy, then I have to ask myself, what role did I play in the conditions of my life going downhill? If I'm going to be honest.
So a crazy person is not looking at they're the cause of the situations around them.
Never.
They're the root. I don't know, Matthew, what they call it, common denominator?
Yeah.
I am the common source of all the problems around me. That's a person that is at least living in reality.
Yeah.
But a person who can't say that they're the common source of every dysfunction around them, they have to live this delusion. That delusion makes them crazy.
Yeah. Well, the idea that you can get away with living life in a delusion and that nobody sees the real truth, you got to be crazy too.
You got to be crazy.
To think that the Most High doesn't see what's really going on in this person's mind. He said that man is crazy. That what?
Speaking falsely instead of truly.
Never acknowledging what I do wrong. Angry and finding fault with the judgment of the conditions of my life changing. Mad at the world around me and blaming it on everybody else.
Yep.
Something's wrong. Obviously, that man is what?
Crazy.
Read?
Crazy.
While still committing iniquity.
And I didn't make no changes. I didn't make no changes because I never acknowledged that I was wrong. Read on.
Asserts that he has repented.
It says, but he's steady talking about what?
That he repented.
That I did change. I did change.
That's crazy, though.
That is crazy.
But there's a lot of people like that.
That's somebody that's seeking leasing. That's somebody that's lying. That's somebody that's living a life of falsehood.
That was 2 weeks ago. Like, you made all these changes with him.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Like 2 weeks is a long time.
I killed my brother 2 weeks ago. I was a long time ago.
Yeah, we're over that now.
Yeah, we should be past this. Why you hold my past?
I don't do that no more.
I don't do that anymore.
Well, you ain't got no more brothers.
Ain't no more brothers, bro. It take a long time to make some new ones.
Yeah. But we're the ones that skew the truth.
Yeah.
And live falsely.
Yeah.
And then sit back and say, hey, man, that wasn't me. That's not me anymore. I made those adjustments. What am I never willing to do?
Deal with reality?
Deal with reality, which is to change. In order to change, you got to admit that you're guilty.
Well, I don't want to feel bad. That's a part of crazy people, too. They never want to feel bad.
Nope.
Ever. But everything they do, they're the source of the problem.
Source of the problem.
And then the crazy part is they blame that blaming element. They blame another person as the source of the problem or the progenitor of the issue. And to do that, you have to create a narrative. You have to have an evil imagination. and create a narrative that fits that story in your head to make them the beginner or the progenitor of the issue.
Yep.
If it wasn't for the coach, if it wasn't for that person,
Or the teacher.
if it wasn't for that teacher, it wasn't for my rib, it wasn't for the white man. It wasn't all these situations these are people around you that are just independently operating. You have to create a story, create a narrative to where they affected you. So this is why I killed my brother. This is why I committed that crime. This is why I made this extreme mistake. You're making it as if you were forced to sin.
Yep.
That's what people do. Crazy people act like they were compelled to sin. And they were forced to sin. And that's the only way they can live with themselves.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's so they can live with themselves. Because if I really hear the truth about myself, I'll actually hate myself.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if I hate myself, I'll feel guilty enough to look at myself and make some adjustments.
Yeah.
But the last thing people want to see in life is the real them, is the real person.
No.
And that depends on how many false masks have you put on in life and costumes have you put on in life, and how deep have you gone with the lies that you tell yourself that you don't make mistakes. How aware are you of your fallibilities? How conscious are you? He said, but a person is crazy that does what?
Speaking falsely instead of truly, while still committing iniquity,
Go ahead.
asserts that he has repented.
He said he asserts that he has repented. I'll say I've changed. Read.
It says, it is like as if one...
He said it's like a metaphor. A person that won't see themselves but will lie and say I changed is like one that does what?
It says, it is like as if one who had a disease
It's like somebody that have a disease. Read on. Like leprosy. Read on.
were to pretend that he was in good health.
It's like somebody walking around with leprosy pretending that they're what?
Good health.
But you can see the leprosy.
Your reality is so.
You can see this disease is still on you.
Don't touch my hand, brother. You know this brother's sick.
No high fives.
Nah, slow, man.
Shalom. No daps. No hugs.
Daps
It's like,
for you.
nah, brother. Everybody can see something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But you walking around saying I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
He said that's the same way it is for a person to be a sinner. That's how crazy it is.
Mm-hmm.
For a person to be a sinner, never asking themselves no questions, what did I do wrong? Never looking to see about where they were guilty in the situation. Never seeking the Most High, asking the Most High, how can I get right back with you? But just want to play the victim and complain. He said it's like a person that still got a disease, but is walking around telling people that they're what?
In good health.
No, you're not in good health.
You want people to believe that, though.
But who are you fooling? It's like if I'm coughing and sneezing, and I got boogers hanging out my face, and I'm telling, nah, I'm good. I'm ready to go back to work.
No, you're not.
And I'm coughing on everybody, and I'm in the truck coughing and sneezing, and I got a fever, and I got a fever. I'm hot. I'm sick. I'm spitting up stuff, and I say, no, I'm good. Like, no.
Pass the box, huh?
Yeah, no, bro.
I'm straight.
Hey, let me get a sip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like, let me get a sip.
And the customers will react. The older clientele, the older customers that have those immune systems that they don't want no sickness in their house, they're like, listen, you have them outside.
They'll let them know, hey,
The
man.
environment will start to push you out.
Especially during COVID.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, you couldn't sneeze during the COVID era.
That's all.
Everybody sneezes, it's like, oh, man. Everybody walk around like this, like damn, bro, I ain't got no mask, I'm finna do this.
Yeah.
You can't sneeze or cough around somebody. But that's the lie that people tell themselves that never want to see themselves. Yeah. That's how crazy it is for people that don't want to see themselves. Everybody can see you're sick. Everybody can see there's something wrong. Everybody can see there's a problem. But you're walking around like not asking yourself, is there an issue? Could I have done something wrong? I've done no inventory. I've never asked myself, did I make any mistakes? Have I made the Most High angry? Is the Most High's hand against me? You got it. Somebody must not be in their right mind for them to walk around sick, pretending like they're healthy. But everybody can see that they're sick. Everybody can see there's a problem. Everybody sees that I'm not winning my battles. And that my mistakes are getting the best of me. And life is not as enjoyable as it could be. And it's not as enjoyable as other people's lives. But what we tell ourselves is foolishness. What we tell ourselves is senseless. We're not okay. But why sit around and lie and pretend like I'm okay? When everybody can see that you're not okay.
Who are you lying to?
That's the question. Who are you fooling?
Yeah.
That's what makes it crazy. That's what makes the man or the woman crazy. Because you're not fooling anybody. Life is kicking your butt. Your life is out of order. Good things are passing you by and landing on other people around you. And you're never going to ask yourself any kind of questions about why is this the way it is? Could it be me?
Could it be?
Could I be the cause of the dysfunction?
Could it be?
Could it be? You're never going to ask yourself those questions. But it's always somebody else. And that's where the complaints come in at. That's where the blame and the fault comes in at. That's where the accusations come in. That's too much. It's overboard. It's not me. It's the people around me. It's the Most High. It's the judgment. It's the conditions. Read on.
Cain. It says, it is like as if one who had a disease were to pretend that he was in good health.
It says it was like one that had a disease was to pretend like he was in what?
In good health.
He was pretending that he was in good health. Read.
For he, as it seems, will only get more sick.
It says, but this person that's walking around lying to themselves, that's never asking themselves, was it me? Am I wrong? Is the Most High not happy with me? What do I need to do to get right? If I'm not asking these questions and I'm not honest about my scenario and my conditions, it says this man, it would only seem that this man or woman would only be more what?
Get more sick.
Why would I get more sick?
Wow.
Feels better to lie.
Because it's easier to lie. Yes, it's. Well, exactly. I'm not doing anything to get. I'm not taking the steps necessary to get better. That's why the person would be more sick. Just denying that you're sick or diseased is not gonna fix it.
I was gonna say this
Feels
too.
good.
Even in AA or in one of those twisted programs, they always tell the people that every disease or whatever disease you have, the disease of addiction, is progressive unto death. There's no such thing as you're gonna freeze or pause your sickness.
Right.
It's either gonna kill you or you're gonna kill it. There's not this idea. There's people like to live in the
I
idea.
can live with it.
They can just pause their sickness and just keep it at this standstill. But the day you get comfortable, the day you stop studying, the day you start confessing, the day you start meditating, the day you just don't give a damn, the day you react to people every 5 minutes and flip out, that's the day that your disease starts intensifying, little by little, until it kills you, until it takes the person out. And there's people that they've been sober for like 11, 12, 15 years, and they go back to drinking 1 drink, 2 drinks, die immediately. Because their whole temple was clean. They made their whole temple clean. They cleaned their temple out, end up dying. Because they went back after that long period of cleanliness, went back to their sin and they knew better.
Yeah. And they took them out.
Yeah, and they have these vigils and they crying and they looking at pictures and they holding candles.
Look, or the body starts telling you that
The body can't take it no more.
that you can't function in sickness for too long.
Oh,
But sin is the same way.
exactly.
But sin, he's using a metaphor like a person with a disease because we've all been sick in some type of fashion and we could all relate to what it means to be sick. But lying about your sickness doesn't change it. That doesn't fix you. I mean, have to give me James 5:14. That doesn't fix you. Read that part again.
Cain.
I already had
This part right here.
it. That's why I was saying.
Oh, you had the James?
Same one. Yeah, James 5:14.
Okay, cool. You got it already. Read that.
Not right now.
Yeah.
James chapter 5, verse 14. Is any sick among you?
It says if anybody is, there's a methodology and there's a step-by-step process to being healed. Lying about your sickness has never fixed the sickness. It's never changed. You saying it doesn't exist is not a problem. It's not an issue. We're using sickness as a metaphor for sin. Lying about the fact that you never do anything wrong never got us closer to the Most High. Playing the victim, never doing any inventory, never asking ourselves any real questions about where have I gone wrong at and what steps do I need to take to get back right with the Most High. It's like me denying that I'm sick, knowing I'm sick. But I'm never taking any herbs.
No.
I don't believe in no herbs whatsoever.
No.
I'm not taking any kind of zinc. I'm not taking any kind of garlic. I'm not doing any potassium, magnesium.
I'm gonna help my body fight back for nothing.
I'm not doing no herbs whatsoever. I'm not doing no echinacea. I'm not doing nothing. I don't believe in none of that. I'm not eating no roots. No ginger root.
No onion. No chicken soup.
I don't believe in
chicken soup always works, but I'm not taking that.
No chicken soup. I'm not doing none of that because I'm saying I'm not sick. But I'm not taking any steps to get better.
Why would I need to take chicken soup? I'm not sick.
I'm not sick. But in sin, we do the same thing with the sickness as we do with sin. There's nothing wrong with me. I didn't make no mistakes. Yeah. But everything in my life is pointing at the fact that the Most High is disconnected from me. And He's not blessing me. He's not happy with me. But yet, I tell myself, I'm not sick. But if you want to get better, read.
Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders.
You should have a counsel with who?
The elders.
The minute that you feel like something wrong with your spirit, the minute that you feel like something's disconnected, and the Most High may not be happy with you, the Most High may not be blessing you.
Let him call for the elders of the church.
What do you call that? It's time to do what? It's time to set up a council. It's time to sit down and have a council. Let me, if I don't want to do inventory, then let somebody else inventory me and find out and examine me about and question me and ask me the questions that I don't want to ask myself. Because I guarantee you, if you call for the elders, they'll be able to point out your problem. Half the time, they've probably been telling you your problem the whole time. Mm-hmm. But we've been in denial. We've been in denial. And we've been living a life like the Most High said. We seek after leasing. We seek after falsehood and lies. Half the time the elders have been saying, hey, man, I would do this. Change this. You're getting out of pocket here. Your emotions, you're getting too emotional. You're not controlling yourself. Your outlook is negative. Half the time you've been getting warned by the elders anyway. But it's time to have a sit down. And it's time to have a counsel about the truth about my situation. That's when you're done lying to yourself that everything's okay. That's when you stop playing the crazy man. Because the crazy man just gonna keep lying and say, I'm fine. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but I'm good. Y'all the ones that need help.
Right.
You need counsel, not me. I'm okay. Yes, sir.
So is it because like your self-esteem or self-confidence is so fragile that you can't handle receiving that kind of information because that it feels overwhelming to see that kind of truth yourself?
Yeah.
Is this a fragility?
It could be fragility.
Fear.
Or it could be fear. Or I don't want to see myself. I don't want to see myself in that light because I've been trying to run from that. I've been trying to pretend that that's not true and I'm not the cause of my problems. You know, because the scripture in Proverbs 16 says, every man's mind is right in his own eyes. Yeah. Every man's way is right in his own eyes.
What, isn't that pride?
Because it is pride. Every man, the way a man is right in his own eyes. I'm not. There's nothing. I don't see nothing wrong with what I'm doing or how I live or how I function. Yes, sis. Got your hand up. It could be trauma related. That's a good point.
That's what I'm gonna say. Like, and sometimes it's like facing that reality of receiving that kind of truth can kind of trigger. Like if you had a similar trauma or those characteristics that you can be told in you, it existed in the mother you hated, the
Right.
father you hated.
Right.
You don't accept that.
Right.
Also share the thing that I hated with them.
Right, because I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes about talking the truth about how weak I am. Because we tell ourselves, if a person tells themselves they're not sick, then now obviously they're telling themselves they're in good health. That means I'm strong. And the truth of it is, I'm not as strong as I think I am. None of us are. So we'll hide sickness, we'll lie about it, and we'll never come to grips and say, man, I am sick. Or I am jealous, or I am angry, or I am bitter, or I got a negative outlook, or I'm just uncomfortable, or you know what? I've buried these weak thoughts about myself, and I don't want to open up any old wounds, and I don't want to open up that closet of bones that I've hid in my closet, and skeletons in my closet. I don't want to go back and dig none of that up. I don't want to talk about it. But obviously, you've been affected. Obviously, you've been affected in a negative way. Me and the war was talking. I'm not gonna talk much about it. But when you look at, and I'm just gonna bring this out and be done with it. I'm not gonna make this a whole thing. When you look at molestation and how prevalent it is amongst our people, and how frequent it is, it's a very sensitive topic. It's a very sensitive subject, and that's why you don't really hear us really having no real class. We'll have counsel about it, but we won't make this a whole class topic. Maybe we'll eventually, but you got to tread lightly when you're dealing with certain sources of pain and trauma that people have endured that they don't want to talk about, but it's still plaguing them in their adult life. And they never got closure, or they never got healed, or they never got remedied for what happened to them in their youth. But they still carry the traits of an affected person. And they don't see how they're mismanaging their life based upon the things they endured from before. Some people get past it. Some people have put it so far in the back of their mind that they don't think about it, or it didn't change their confidence, or their self-worth, or their self-value. But some people, they are affected. It does affect their confidence. It does affect who they are. And this is why we save those type of conversations for counsels. But there's some things that, yes, you do need to go to the elders to talk about, because it's a deep-seated type of sickness. It's a deep-rooted, long-standing type of sickness. Yes, sir.
Would you say that that's like equal to walking around with an open wound?
For somebody that's in denial, but for somebody, let's say if that has happened to them, but they have issues in their marriage. They have issues. I'm just saying if that has, we're just using that for example.
Okay.
If that has happened to them, but they're having issues with their relationships, and they're having issues with their, but they're not looking at the fact of why, or they're choosing the wrong people.
Right.
They're making the wrong selection, or they push so much fear on their children, and it's changing how they raise their children.
Right.
Then it would be like, okay, I gotta address the elephant in the room.
The domino effects.
Now I got it. Yes. Then it would be like an open sore, because now it's leaking out on everybody around me.
Children.
The sickness is leaking out on everybody. It's leaking out on my wife. It's leaking out on my husband. It's leaking out on my children. It's leaking out on all my associates. Anybody that's close to me. Now it's spilling out to everybody around me. Now I need to do what? What you got, Ahmad?
James 5:14. Is any sick among you?
Go ahead.
Let him call for the elders of the church.
It said, let them do what?
Call for the elders of the church.
Let me stop trying to handle my sickness by myself. First of all, half the time we don't even want to acknowledge that we're sick, and that's what Fausto said. That's what a man is crazy. He don't even want to acknowledge he's sick.
Huh.
Then you got to be crazy then if you think you're not sick.
And Father lived a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
People still doing
people
it.
still doing it. People still pretending like nothing's wrong with me. There's something wrong with you.
What's wrong with you?
But
Don't talk about me.
Yeah, but if I'm honest, if I want to be honest about me, and I want to be better, and I want to get right back with the Most High, because the Most High is more merciful, then let me do what?
Let him call for the elders of the church.
Go ahead.
And let them pray over him.
And let them do what?
And let them pray over him.
And first of all, the elder is going to do what?
Pray.
Pray. Because what that means is that if your sickness is greater than you can handle, then other people that are spiritually in tune have to intercede to the Most High for you. They're standing in the gap for you. They're interceding on your behalf for you. They're calling out more attention to the Most High to get his attention, to request more of his healing and the more of his temperance, his patience, his long suffering, his mercy, his kindness, his favor. You got to have people to intercede for you in that realm. If what you're doing is not enough, you need help. You need spiritual help. And the first thing the elders need to do is to do what? Am I? Go ahead.
Let them pray over him.
That's just one thing that they have to do. But somebody that's crazy, read that again, Kariah.
God. And that man is crazy. Who? Speaking falsely instead of truly, while still committing iniquity, asserts that he has repented. It is like as if one who had a disease were to pretend that he was in good health.
Go ahead.
For he, as it seems, will only get more sick.
Why more sick? Read.
Since he does not choose to apply any of the remedies.
What makes a person get more sick? Because he don't choose to apply any of the what?
Of the remedies.
Go ahead.
Which are conducive to health. Conducive to health.
Conducive to health. Meaning, I won't take no meds. I won't eat no soup. I won't take no herbs. I won't get no rest. I won't put no humidifier in the room. I won't put no vapor rub on my feet or my nose. I won't do nothing. But I won't be out in the sun. I won't get no fresh air. I won't do nothing that people need to do to get better. But walk around and say I'm not sick. Y'all tripping. He said that man is crazy. But the steps, the remedies that it takes to get better when it comes to sick, because sin is a sickness. There's a whole class I did about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That talks about
the doubting of why people doubt using today's medicine.
I don't even remember it, bro.
I remember it.
But it was about the correlation between sin and sickness and how they're tied together. Sickness in the flesh is sometimes connected to sickness in the spirit. And it's a wake up. But if I'm sick in the spirit, or if I'm sick in the flesh, there's still steps that I got to take to get remedy, which are, read on.
God, anointing him, and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord.
I got to pray over, I got to be prayed over, and I got to be anointed and blessed and consecrated in the name of who?
In the name of the Lord.
Read on.
And the prayer of faith.
The prayer is a prayer of what?
Faith.
Faith. Go ahead.
Shall save the sick.
It shall do what?
Shall save the sick.
Because sometimes a person's faith is not strong enough to get them healed. So you got to bring and lean on other people's faith. It takes sometimes other men's faith to heal you from your sickness. But what happens if I never come to the elders? What if I never confess that I'm a sinner? What if I never come clean about my mistakes and my sin? And I choose to live a lie and say nothing's wrong with me.
Never hit the solution.
Then I never get the solution. I never get the answers. Read on.
15. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up.
Because now everybody's advocating for me in the spirit. The elders are advocating for me. They're praying for me. They're anointing me. They're asking for my healing from their behalf. I got a spiritual voice speaking for me, calling on the Lord to get me healed. Read on.
And the Lord shall raise him up.
Because now I got faith, my faith and honesty, along with the elders' faith and their prayers, is compounding in as a compounding solicitation or petition or request to get my healing from the Lord. Read on.
And if he have committed sin,
And wait a minute. I thought it was just about sickness.
Why is that mentioned
because it is
with
a sickness.
your immune system breaking down
Yeah,
It is a sickness.
because it is a sickness.
or physical disorders?
Because sometimes the Most High is revealing or manifesting the sickness in the flesh because there was a sickness where?
In the mind.
In the mind, in the spirit. Sometimes it starts in the spirit and manifests itself in the flesh. And if he has sin, not all sickness is due to sin, but some of it is. And if it is connected, read.
If he have committed sin, they shall be forgiven him.
That is also part of the healing too. That I get these sins wiped away from me. Henceforth, the sickness can leave also. Read on.
16. Confess your faults.
But what does it take? What is the necessary remedies to getting healed?
Confession.
Confess your faults.
So it's to acknowledge that I'm sick. It's to acknowledge that I'm a sinner. This is something that Cain would never do. You would never ever read about Cain acknowledging that he was a sinner. Ever.
That's a part of his archetype.
Never. I read in the Encyclopedia Britannica, 1961, that Cain was the first in line of many men, and the next one that was like him was Esau.
Yeah.
They have similar characteristics. They have a similar spirit. It says Cain was the first in line of such types as Esau and Korah. So you had Cain was just an archetype of a mind frame that manifested itself in spirit in other men throughout time. So anybody could have the mind of Cain. Even today, anybody could never see and never acknowledge and never confess that they make mistakes and they've done wrong, and play the victim and always blame everybody around them.
Anybody can do that.
Anybody can do that today. He said, but confess what?
Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another, that ye may be healed.
Read.
The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
And that it said there's much benefit to bringing my issues to righteous men. Bringing my issues, my weaknesses, my vulnerabilities, my mistakes, bringing them to righteous men. Bringing them to elders. Coming clean. Half the time, the sickness don't even leave until I decide to come clean and acknowledge that it's there. But otherwise, if I don't, I remain, what Philo said, is in a crazy state.
Crazy.
I remain crazy. Because I don't, say it again?
No.
Because I don't ever want to acknowledge or do the things that's conducive to bring about health. Not just physical health, but spiritual health. Give me, yes sir.
Papa's on it?
Yes sir.
20 point. Somebody give me Ecclesiastes 18 and verse 19. Just on Sean Shawan's point.
Ecclesiastes 18 and 19.
On to, yeah, 21. 19 through 21.
19?
Yeah, verse 19 through 21.
Ecclesiastes 18 verse 19.
Learn
before thou speak.
He says what?
Learn before thou speak.
When he says learn before thou speak, what are we supposed to be doing when we learn before thou speak? We're learning about ourselves, taking acknowledgement of our wrongdoings. Learning before we speak means what? I got to counsel with the elders. I got to sit back here and take self-examination of myself. That's how I learn before I speak. Read.
And use physique, or ever thou be sick.
Because if I don't use counsel, if I'm not confessing, if I'm not being humble, then I'm going to be what? I'm going to be sick. Right? Read.
Says, before judgment, examine thyself.
Before judgment, what are we supposed to be doing?
Examine
We're
thyself.
supposed to be humble enough to examine ourselves, which Cain didn't do. Cain didn't sit back here and examine his wrongs. He was like, this punishment I can't bear.
It's too much.
It's too much. You're doing too much. Right? This is extreme. Right? Read.
Says, before the judgment, examine thyself,
Uh-huh.
and the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy.
Thou shalt find mercy. Read.
Says, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Humble thyself before thou be sick.
Wow. What are we supposed to be doing?
Humble thyself before thou be sick,
Uh-huh.
and in the time of sins, show repentance.
This is what we're supposed to be doing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because we're talking about Cain, right? Unbecoming Cain, right? So if I'm not humbling myself, then I'm going to be sick. Sick where? In my mind. Lying to myself. Telling myself that I'm healed. Telling myself that everything is okay.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. Right? What about you? You talk about my sickness. What about you? That's the game we like to play. We like to play Uno with people, right?
Yeah.
We don't like to be humble with ourselves, and that's why we end up being sick. And the sickness is the craziness, right?
Yep.
That's the sickness in our mind. We end up being crazy, like we read in Philo.
Not sane.
Not saying nothing.
Yeah, because and never actually getting healed because I never addressed the elephant in the room.
God.
I've always walked around the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room was me
Yeah, the whole time.
the whole time. But I choose to walk around it as if it wasn't there.
Like I'm good. Yeah.
And I'm good. Ain't nothing wrong. I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah.
Everything's fine on my side.
Everything's good on my side. Grass is green on this side.
Yeah, but you know that's pride talking.
That's pride.
Read this for me right here, page 668. I think it's important to understand that we dwell on this what it takes to get healed. Read. Yeah, that part right there.
Come. Follow page 658. It says, for absolutely never to do anything wrong at all.
But we don't qualify for this aspect. He said to never do anything wrong. Where?
At all.
Which that's not us. We're sinners. Read.
Is a peculiar attribute of the Most High.
Yes, that would be great if we could be like the Most High.
Huh.
Because being like the Most High in Christ is to never do anything wrong at all.
Right.
Read on.
And perhaps one may also say of a godlike man.
It says, but one may also say of a godlike man. Read on.
But when one has erred,
It says, but we know that we're full of flaws, and we're not we don't have the characteristics of never doing anything wrong at all. That's beyond us. We're full of mistakes. He says, but what we can do is that if we have made mistakes, read on.
it says, but when one has erred, then to change so as to adopt a blameless course of life.
It says, but to change and to adopt a blameless course of life. Go ahead.
For the future is the part of a wise man.
It would be wisdom that if I do make mistakes, to do what?
It says to adopt a blameless course of life.
To change and adopt a blameless course of life.
Right.
Then let me try to get, if I have made mistakes in life,
Yeah.
and obviously the Most High's hand is against me, and He's not blessing me in totality,
Right.
then let me at least try to eliminate all my mistakes and as many mistakes as possible.
Right.
Let me get back on track. How do I get back on track? He says by adopting a blameless course of life. That means I got to start removing the things that I do wrong as much as possible. What things are not good about me that need to be removed?
Time.
Is it my outlook? Do I walk around with a negative outlook? Then let me start fixing my negative outlook. Do I have a smart mouth? Do I respond to people that challenge me or that question me with a smart aleck attitude? Is my mouth my problem? Then let me start meditating on things that represent stability and peace and unity. Then let me be more kind and tender in my words. Am I spiteful and full of revenge? Then let me start working on my temperance and my meekness. Let me start fixing the things in me because I know that I'm full of problems.
Time.
But how often do we do that? Do we try to look at getting back on track by living a blameless course of life?
Time.
Do me a favor, read this right here. Same thing, read this part right here.
Time. It says, Now those blessings which are of the greatest importance.
And if I'm trying to get blessed, read on.
It says, now those blessings which are of the greatest importance in the body are good health.
And so, what do I? By doing these things, changing my ways, acknowledging my mistakes, confessing my sins. What is that doing for my body?
Cleansing it of iniquity and evil thoughts and wicked acts.
So the more I actually clean up within myself mentally, the more inventory that I take with myself, the more self-examination that I have, and I start removing the things that are no good about me. He says it actually changes my health.
Yeah.
My health will get better.
Kind
So a lot of times sickness it starts in the mind.
of.
It starts with the sin. It starts with mistakes. So if I start eliminating my mistakes and the things that I do wrong, it has a direct effect on my what? On my health. Yes, sir.
And also, like, you know, you go from like copper to like silver to like gold. That phase that you're in when you're negative is more like a copper. When you listen to somebody, then you go to bronze, and then you go all the way up.
If you make, I see what you're saying.
You change from whatever to pure gold.
What you're saying is true, but just to give you the scripture to back up what you're saying is right. But to put it in a biblical pretense, what you're saying is 2 Timothy chapter 2.
Okay.
Read that right there. What Stan is saying is 2 Timothy about elevating the quality of the person that you are. But that elevation only comes after a certain thing has to be done. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and read verse 21.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 21. If a man, therefore, purge himself from these.
So in order to elevate the quality of person that I am, or to elevate my spirit, or to elevate my body, he says I got to do what?
If a man therefore purge himself from these.
Purging is to remove unclean or weakness from me. Things that are weak about me. When you purge something, you're removing the weakness.
Yeah.
So the more you purge your spirit, he says what?
He shall be a vessel unto honor.
He shall be a vessel unto what?
Honor.
Read verse 20.
Verse 20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth.
He says there's different calibers, but the caliber is the man. Man is made of different calibers. If man starts off as earth, like clay, but if you're going to elevate the caliber of person that you are, the quality of man or quality of woman that you are, you have to keep eliminating the things that are weak about you, the things that are vices in you, the things that are uncomely, unattractive in you, these addictions that you have, the negative thoughts you possess, the habits that you possess. The more things that you start removing out of yourself, you become of better quality or a higher caliber in the house of the Most High. The greatest men in the house of the Most High have removed the greatest things about them. They've taken out the weaknesses. They've removed the weaknesses. That's what separates men and differentiates and distinguishes men in quality. What separates men in quality or women in quality is how many things that you take away from yourself that are negative. Then you've elevated your quality of character. You've elevated your spirit. Read.
But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth.
Read.
And some to honor and some to dishonor.
Read.
If a man therefore purge himself from these.
So the more purging you do, the more elevation you have in the house of the Most High. The Most High that keeps raising you up. Read.
If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor.
He shall go from a vessel of dishonor to a vessel of what?
Honor.
Read.
Sanctified and meet for the master's use.
The more the Most High can use you for a greater purpose is based upon how many things that you remove that are weak about you. How many weaknesses did you remove from yourself? If you was a thief, did you stop stealing? Because the Most High can't use you in a greater capacity until you stop stealing. If you're a liar, did you remove your lying tongue? Because the Most High can't use you in a greater capacity until you stop lying. If you're a hater, did you remove your hate in your heart? Because the Most High can't use you in a greater capacity until you remove the hater that's in you. The more things that you remove within yourself, the greater the Most High can use you for a greater purpose. Understand that, Stan? Make sense?
You gotta purge yourself. And then there's different levels to it and different grains and different types of woods. And then you also have to remove things. And the more you remove, the greater person you become, and the more you could be used by the Most High.
Yes. The Most High could use you for greater work, greater purpose. But it takes purging. It takes some type of a cleansing.
Yeah.
So read this right here.
It says, follow page 657. It says, now those blessings which are of the greatest importance in the body are good health.
But when do I get good health? Good health comes after going to the elders counseling.
Yeah.
Dumping out the things that are not good in me. Confessing my faults. Coming clean. Acknowledging my mistakes. Taking accountability.
Removing those weights. A lot of people after counsel, if you know you're proper and you've done a lot of proper communication, you should feel the spirit of relief.
Yeah.
That's how you know you actually did the right thing. If you're talking and you walk out without relief, that means you weren't transparent, bro.
No, wasn't honest.
It's like walking into a place, you took a shower and come out still dirty. That means you didn't take a shower. That means whatever method you used to purge your flesh wasn't thorough. You know, sometimes you have children, you have to tell them, go take a shower again. Nope, I'm going to smell you. You still smell like, you still stink. Go take another shower. Because the amount or quality of cleansing and purging and the amount of thoroughness they were on their cells, and they didn't use the you know, whatever they call those things, the little loofahs.
Loofah.
They didn't use the loofah, or they did the washcloth, but they didn't put the soap in the washcloth.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just got in the water and got wet, and they came out like they want to give you the illusion they're clean.
No scrubbing.
So these are different things that children do to give the illusion to their parents, I took a bath, because they want to go back to play.
Yeah.
Well, adults are no different. We do it to the Most High because we're His children. We'll go in the back in office and we'll give 5% of the real issue, and then we'll counsel and here's my talk as if we're really being transparent, and walk out the office door or the council door, and we still have the same anger, same confusion, or the same denial issue, or we have the same narrative in our head. That means I really didn't do enough cleansing or the proper method of really washing myself, because you're supposed to walk out of counsel with a refreshed vibration. The scripture says that. It says like the hearty counsel of a friend. It's supposed to be something of joy. You should walk out of counsel with relief and joy.
Or I have answers.
Oh, really?
I know what to do.
Because I have a plan. I have a playbook. I have
some solutions.
I have solutions. I have a method. It's like going to a mechanic and you take your car out, everything else, and then you pay the money. You walk out and your car's still broken. You get mad at the mechanic.
Yep.
Oh, that's every 6 months. That happens all the time. But we would get mad at the mechanics.
I probably did.
These mechanics aren't doing their job.
Yeah.
But why aren't we the same with the council?
Because I don't come clean with what the issue is.
The diagnostic can't really be done.
Yeah.
Oh, don't look at the engine. Look,
don't
clean.
open the hood up. Just tell me what's wrong with the car.
You hear it? It's making noise, right? Okay, let me open the hood. No.
The latch is broke. You don't open the hood up.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't examine. I'm not a mechanical person, but if they can't do a thorough examination of a vehicle, they can only give you a guesstimate, and they give you a list of these are our guesses to what the problem is. Go to AutoZone and go get the computer and put in the computer and get a readout of whatever sensors are broken. Because we're not really figuring out. We can't really get a clear diagnostic of the problem to even approach the issue. That's what like half a council be sometimes. Yep. Can't get a diagnostic, so we have to keep waiting for these cataclysmic events, rock bottom events, extreme situations to happen to where we can finally talk about the elephant in the room of the real problem.
Yep. Then by that time, you wasted time.
Yeah.
And also, you start to lose things by that time.
Yes.
Many men, when they wait a long time to counsel, it's not like there's not a consequence
Yes.
to it. There's great consequences for wasting time and not fixing your issues. You start to lose.
You're on the clock.
You start to lose big
You're
time.
losing clock.
Yeah. So give me Genesis 4:16. Now finish that. I'm sorry. Finish this first, and then give me Genesis 4:16.
Come. It says, now those blessings which are of the greatest importance in the body are good health, without disease.
But I can't lie about my diseases. If you want good health, you can't lie and say I'm not sick. Yes, sir.
By definition, health is a sound state of mind.
Man, that's a great definition. Sound state of mind. It ain't even got really much to do with the body. First of all, it's the mind first. But he said, if you want good health without disease, you gotta stop lying about your diseases. You gotta come clean and say you're sick. You gotta confess that you made mistakes and you done wrong. Read.
Come. It says, and in a matter of navigation, a successful voyage.
I can't even steer my life right until I eliminate my what? My diseases.
No.
I can't go in the right direction. I'm never on the right track until I eliminate my issues. I'm always going off course. I will always make mistakes. I will always veer off the road. I'm a constantly be a habitual line stepper. I'm always make mistakes until I get health, until I get my health in order. I got to get my diseases removed. Then my journey is successful. Read.
It says, and in a matter of navigation, a successful voyage without danger.
And I don't set myself up for failure because I eliminated my weaknesses. I went at myself. I asked myself the tough questions. What have I done? Where have I been wrong at in my life? Where have I been offensive to the Most High? And what do I need to do to get back right with Him? And let me confess that I'm a sinner. And I'm going to go to the elders and lay it all on the line and spill it all about the things that I've been weak at.
Yeah.
Read on.
Come. It says, and in the soul, an undying recollection of all things.
And when it comes to the soul, when it comes to the mind, I have to have an undying recollection of what?
Of all things worthy to be remembered.
I can't make this mistake anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. I can't be this person anymore. I have to change this about me. I can't forget that this is what keeps me weak. Meditating on this mind frame puts me in the wrong state of mind. Being around these people have too much influence on me. I got to know and remember what it is that makes me deviate and go off track and go off course. Give me Genesis chapter 4, verse 16. Let that go.
God, Genesis chapter 4, verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod.
He said Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of what?
Of Nod.
Now we remember, what does Nod mean? Wandering. It means wandering. It means a vagabond.
Yep.
It means panhandling.
And to build without God.
Yep.
This whole land you're creating is outside of the honoring and blessing of the Father.
Yep. It's true. Hold this. He says, Cain did what?
Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod.
Did he get closer to the Most High through confession?
No.
Or he went further away from the Most High?
Further away.
He went further away from the Most High. That's what we do when we make mistakes. We don't do what it takes to come back and get closer to the Most High. We never confess, never admit our sicknesses, and we go further. We wander away from the Most High. And what does the Most High say about that? Give me Hebrews 10 and 38.
Hebrews 10 and 38.
Yep.
Now the just shall live by faith.
It's faith. Faith is, you know what? If I come clean, it takes faith to confess and come clean about your diseases, about your weaknesses. about the things you do wrong. It takes faith to come out and say, you know what? I'm going to go to the elders and spill my beans and say what it is that I do wrong. It takes faith to do that. To come clean, to confess, it takes faith because it's very difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy to talk about the things that you suppress and that get the best of you on a regular basis. It's not. It takes faith to discuss the things that you do in the dark behind closed doors that nobody really knows, or the thoughts that you hold on to that are not good. It takes faith to come clean. He said, the just shall live by what?
Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back,
It said, but if any man go away from me, they don't want to come to me. If a man chooses to go the other way, to wander away from me, not come back to me, but to go the opposite direction. Read.
my soul shall have no pleasure in him.
He said, my soul shall have no what?
No pleasure in him.
Do we not remember when the Most High was giving Cain an opportunity, when he opened up a window of opportunity for confession? When he asked him, where's your brother? That was a window of opportunity. That was an opportunity for him to come get closer to the Most High. But he said, no, I ain't do nothing wrong. I don't know where my brother is. That's what we do sometimes. We go further away from the Most High versus getting closer. And the Most High said, I will have no what?
I will have no pleasure in him.
Do you know what the word Eden means? You know what the Garden of Eden means? The word Eden means pleasure.
Yeah.
It's the Garden of Pleasure. So what do I do when I go away from the Most High? The Most High say, you will not dwell in Eden. Because that's exactly what pleasure means. And that's why it makes sense why Cain had to dwell in the land of Nod, because it represented where his mind went. His mind went away from God, not closer. And how can the Most High have pleasure with somebody who goes away from him, not to him? How can the Most High have a pleasure with somebody that goes the opposite way? Read on.
Verse 39. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition.
It says, but that's not us. Because who are those that draw back, that go the other way? Cain does. That's why he went into the land of wandering. He's the one that wanders away from the Most High. He says, we're not the ones that do that. We don't operate like Cain. And that's why we say what we're saying with love. We hope that because we know that each and every one of us are sinners. And we all make mistakes. Our hope is that after our mistakes have been made, we do some inventory, we do some accountability, we ask ourselves some questions. Where do I need to get back right with the Most High? How can I get closer back to the Father? Let me not go away from Him. Let me come back closer to Him. That's our goal. We don't want to see anybody dwell in the land of Nod. We don't want to see anybody wander away from the Father.
And lead the Lord's pleasure.
Yeah. That's not our goal. Our goal is to see people repent. Yes, sir.
So, do you have Ecclesiastes 17?
No, sir. You got it. You can read it.
Ecclesiastes 17, 26. Turn again to the Most High, and turn away from iniquity. For he will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently.
He said, but you got to hate your what?
And hate thou abomination vehemently.
Vehemently means you have a disgust for your mistakes. That's what it means to you when you hate. When you have a vice or a weakness or an addiction, you have to hate it how?
Vehemently.
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 Vehemently. Meaning you have a very strong disgust for mistakes, for your mistakes.
It should be an intensity about it.
Yes.
Which means that we're not the spirit of this apathy. The opposite of that vehement nature is being apathetic. Right? So what?
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay, I made a mistake. We all make mistakes.
Like it's no big deal.
People sin every day, bro.
Yeah. But when yes, sir.
I was going to ask you, that may be true, but some people, when they do things, they don't even realize like the severity of it or how it's really making the Most High feel. So So when you don't realize how it's making the Most High feel, and it seems fun to you, or just an addiction or something that you like to do, whatever it may be that's out of pocket, with the Most High, what steps do you take to pull away from that?
What steps do you take when you?
To pull away from not being the Most High, the apple of the Most High's eye, and to be the apple in the Most High's eye. Because when you act certain ways or unaccordingly, you're like a thorn in the side.
Well,
So
if you one thing you're saying is that what do you do if you don't?
things, but you don't realize how terrible what you're doing and saying is.
Right, and I like the question. I like the question that you're asking, because what you're asking is when you're pretty much a slave to sin, and you've grown accustomed to sin, and sin has become normalized, and you don't see the dysfunction because you think it's your normal operation, and it's a normal habit, and it's just a part of who you are now. Your sin is just a part of who you are, so you don't even acknowledge the fact that you're a sinner. So you ask the question, what do you do then, right? Okay, so what you have to do then, if you've normalized dysfunction somewhere in your life and you have no idea how deep of a sinner that you are, then what you have to do is go to Romans chapter 7. Go to Romans chapter 7. And I want you to read verse 14.
God, Romans 7:14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
He said, we know that the what?
For we know that the law is spiritual.
So I got to go to the Bible. Read.
But I am carnal.
And when you go to the Bible will show you a reflection of who? You. Because we get to the point where we normalize dysfunction, and our vices are just a part of us.
Yeah.
And we don't see nothing wrong with them, because we've been this way for a long time. So if you have become accustomed to your mistakes and your flaws, or thinking a certain way, and it's become a part of your everyday character, then you got to dive deeper into the Bible. Because the more that you keep reading the Bible, the more that you're going to see that there's a distinction and a separation between you and the what?
The Word.
And the Word. Read it again.
God, Romans 7:14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
I don't even know I'm a slave. Sometimes we don't even know we're a slave to sin.
Yeah.
We don't even realize that we have all kind of vices, and all kind of addictions, and all kind of bad habits, and all kind of negative thoughts that we walk around with, and it's so normal that we're operating filth. We go to people's houses on a regular basis.
I just vision it in my head too, like you be like, wow.
We go to people's houses all the time, and people be like, excuse me. Sometimes they say excuse me because they know they've been living in what? Filth. Sometimes we walk in people's house and they don't say nothing at all.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Just another day.
it's like
Just another day.
Excuse the mess.
they don't say that at all.
Don't even say that.
I mean, sometimes they do.
I'm saying yes, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
There's hardened cat vomit everywhere.
Except
There's
They
hardened.
say if you don't like it, you can go.
No, that ain't what they
No,
say.
in reality.
No, they don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing at all.
The mattresses got a mixture of body fluids of all types.
For real.
That whatever the body can produce is on that mattress.
Oh yeah.
All elements of whatever comes out of a body.
The filth of man is on that.
Dead skin cells,
The filth of
different
man.
types of fluids,
Oils.
anything that excretes out of the body.
Yeah.
And they don't say nothing. Or sometimes it's wet. Sometimes it's filled with urine. Or the couch is filled with urine. Both animal and human.
Yeah. There's both species on there.
Yeah.
Interspecies urinal.
It was-
Sit there and watch the TV.
yeah,
Watch the Cowboys.
I see nothing
They're
wrong.
talking to you regular.
Yeah, everything is okay.
How y'all doing? Y'all doing good?
Or you ever go into where the dogs have
Yes.
Oh my God.
the dogs have laid bombs everywhere,
Man.
and their nose has already got accustomed to the dog.
Yeah.
Almost bomb.
Yeah, well, their nose is already like familiar with yeah. And you coming out from fresh air into the house. They've been in the house. Their nose is already numb and dull to it.
You're already accustomed to
Yeah. But you walk in, it's like woo, woo. Yeah.
The Fuji face. Man.
You're right.
Are you okay?
Yeah. You know we do. No, this what we do is listen. We warn brothers. Listen, man. Listen. We need only 2 brothers gonna come in here. We don't need everybody in here. We're gonna bring it out. We're gonna suffer it. First 2 brothers gonna suffer it and bring it out. Keep everybody else outside. But I'm saying this because you know how normal dysfunction can become, or addiction can become, or bad habits can become, or filth can become. You know how normal the body grows a tolerance to damn near anything. It grows a tolerance to drugs, smoke. It grows a tolerance to alcohol. The body grows a tolerance to almost anything. So as that person's tolerance for sin and sickness is increased, it don't look that bad. It's normal.
It becomes a new normal.
It's
you
the new
redefine normal.
the new norm. It's the new norm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you know what that makes them? That makes them crazy. Y'all. Like we ready to fire a little.
Yeah, but when you've been in it for a while, you don't see nothing wrong with it. You can't see yourself. So what do you have to do? No different than people that we deal with that live in filth, and it's normal to them, and it's part of their everyday operation. People live in sin the same way, and you don't get to see a true reflection of your mistakes until you start reading the Bible. The more you start reading the Bible, the more you start to see how out of character that you are, how out of balance that you are, how out of chemistry, how out of alignment that you are in thought. You start to see how off your thoughts are. He said, what? Read it again.
God, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
So what helps me make that distinction? Read verse 7.
Romans 7:7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin?
Read.
The Most High forbid.
Read.
Nay, I had not known sin.
He said, I have not known what?
I had not known sin.
Nobody would know how much of a sinner they are. Read on.
But by the law.
But the law shows you how much of a sinner you are.
Right.
When you start to regulate the mind and put the mind in order, and you start putting checkpoints and stop points, no, you cannot do this. You cannot do that. You cannot think like this. You cannot eat that. You cannot put that in your body. You cannot put that on your body. You cannot talk to people this way. Once you start putting regulations, that's what the law is.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of rules. Once you start putting these rules up and these boundaries up, you start to see how often I transgress these boundaries, and how weak I am to my flesh. I will never know how weak I am to the flesh unless I get acquainted with the scriptures. And then what will manifest is all my filth.
Yeah.
It's like cleaning with white gloves on. You don't even know how dirty something is until you take a white glove on and then you rub it on your window blinds. And then it's like, damn, man, this is caked up. People don't see it unless they put the white glove. Why I gotta put the white glove on? Because
that's the truth.
Because it gives a real reflection of the dirt. Yeah. But if I clean with black gloves on, do I get a real reflection of how dirty it is?
Clean. I know this is clean.
No, man.
It'll show.
It'll show. It'll manifest itself. And that's what happens when you read the Bible. When the Bible is the white glove. So when you read it, you realize, man, I'm a dirty man. I'm a dirty person. And that's why people that don't want to hear how dirty they are, the first thing they do is stop reading the Bible. Every man or woman that don't want to hear how filthy they are, don't want to hear scriptures.
Yeah.
They run from the Bible. They stop studying, and then eventually they stop coming to class, and it stops. Their life stops going, or like he said, we're not the ones that are of sin that draw back unto perdition. We don't run away from the Most High. We run to the Most High. But when men don't want to hear the truth about themselves, and they don't want to hear how dirty they are, they don't want to see the Most High. They don't want to be around anything or anybody that represents correction, that represents order, that represents obedience, rules and regulations, do's and don'ts. They don't want to have nothing to do with discipline. Nothing that they don't want to have nothing to do with it. So, to answer your question, if I've been a certain person a certain way for a long time, the only thing that's going to start showing me how filthy I am is my ability to go in and study and read and get the Most High's understanding and look at life through His eyes. And once I look at the Most High, look through life through the Most High's eyes, I can see how polluted I am as a person. Yes, sir.
No, I'm just saying, we just make this, we come in with this idea that look is so religious that we don't understand that the law is like a new set of eyes to see past our own opinion.
Yes.
So we don't look at it like that. It's more so like a religious, what do you call it? Like a
I mean, you have to give me Habakkuk 2 and 4.
paperweight.
A paperweight.
Yeah, like a religious paperweight.
Yeah.
I hold it, I'm going to be spiritual.
Yeah. Or it's a good luck charm.
Yeah, it's a new set of eyes.
Yeah, I just drive with. I put a Bible on my dashboard. I just use it for because I'm driving.
Yeah.
When I drive around, I think that the Bible itself
Yeah.
is going to keep me from having car accidents.
They call that in fashion when you carry things with you. People in fashion, they have like little jewelry. They have like little. It's a word. It's like a word, I believe. People.
Amulet. An amulet.
Accessory.
It's an accessory.
Yeah.
I use the Bible as an accessory, but I'm not going to use the information to fix my life. It's just an accessory. Oh, you know I have a Bible, right? I got a Bible.
Yeah.
You know, I honor the Lord. It's like it's the equivalent of a Christian having a chain on, a cross. They'll wear a cross, but you know if you talk to them and you study them, nothing they do fits the religion that they purport or project.
Yeah.
But no different than Hebrews, if we have Bibles that are dusty and unread, and we don't go to counsel and confession like Joshua wants to bring out this whole class, if we don't go to counsel, if we don't confess, and if we don't implement the disciplines in the book, if we don't practice virtue, if we don't deal with inventory and self-examination, if we don't make sure that our archetype doesn't fit the Cain archetype that we're focusing on right now, then the Bible becomes just an accessory, a paperweight, or its decoration.
Yep. Absolutely. And I never see myself. But if I'm going to see my flaws, I got to read. But if a person can't see their flaws, why? Give me that, Amiyati.
Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Why can't I see myself?
Soul's lifted up.
His soul is lifted up.
And what does it mean when a person's soul is lifted up? Yes. A person, as long as a person is in their pride, what won't they ever see? Read it again.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
It says, a soul which is lifted up, a soul that's full of pride, is arrogant, haughty, high-minded. He says we'll never be able to see that his soul is what?
Not upright in him.
What does that mean? As long as I got my pride, as long as I got too much pride, I'll never admit what? That I'm sick. I'm not that bad. I'm not as bad as you think, as you're making it sound. I used to be worse. So as long as a person's got pride, they'll never be able to be shown how crooked and how sick and how weak and how filthy their spirit is. Pride prevents me from seeing the truth about myself. pride keeps me from acknowledging that I'm dirty. What did it say? Read it again.
Habakkuk 2:4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him.
Give me this right quick. Yes, sir. Okay. Let me see. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna answer that. Give me one. Get 1 point. Give me this right quick. Okay, there's a question right here. I'm gonna answer this question. It says, "I feed off correction, but not from those trying to manipulate." Con, absolutely. How do we deal with those that manipulate but be truthful? Now, there's an answer to both. There's two ways to answer that question. One is in Matthew 23, and also the other way to answer that question is in Hebrews 10 and 17. So let's first get Matthew chapter 23 and read verse 1, because is asking a question. The question is, "I feed off correction, but not from those trying to manipulate." So some people are trying to correct for their own benefit. It says, "How do we deal with those that manipulate but be truthful?" So somebody that's a manipulator will try to tell me to do things for their benefit, or tell me to do things that they don't do, which is a hypocrite. So how do I deal with people that are hypocrites or manipulators? Because a hypocrite is a play actor. They don't practice what they preach. So let's read Matthew chapter 23, verse 1 to answer the brother's question.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, "The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat."
And when you read this whole chapter, you go on and find out that Christ called them vipers. What is a viper? A serpent. It's a snake.
Yeah.
It's a person with snake-like tendencies.
Yeah.
So these are manipulators. So he says, the scribes and the Pharisees do what?
Sit in Moses' seat.
They have the seat of authority. They have the power over the church. Read on.
All therefore.
But Christ said what?
All therefore.
What, read.
Whatsoever they bid you, observe.
Go ahead.
That observe and do.
He said, whatever they tell you, he said that what?
That observe and do.
Go ahead.
But do not after their works.
It said, but don't do after their what?
Works.
It says, but just don't follow after their what?
Works.
So, what do? You obey them, but you just don't follow their example. If the manipulators have the authority and they're giving you correction, then take the correction, but don't duplicate their manipulative tactics, or don't duplicate their hypocrisy.
The weak example.
Don't duplicate their bad example. But if they're correcting you through the scriptures, then take the correction.
There's a such thing as a objective reaction. Like a person, it's a lot easier for people on the outside to see things clearly. Sometimes they can see things from afar. They may not fix themselves, but they can give you advice. If we're going to be conscious towards the Most High, we can use that advice to get closer to Christ.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to take their own advice, they're just not going to make it to the kingdom or push themselves away from Christ. But the solutions are the solutions. The question is, do I care? Does the messenger affect me, or do I want to hear the message?
Yep.
Because I know that it is BS, or it feels whack as hell to hear a hypocrite give you a correction. But really, I gotta just take whatever I can get. In this world, I gotta get whatever I can get to fix me. It's almost I have to be desperate to self-solve. I have to be desperate to solve myself or my. If a person, listen, bro, there's been people that were Christians. I've been the mall selling oils for years, bro. There'd be a Christian guy come up with some wackadoodie belief system, but he'll actually, in his clarity, say the right thing.
Yep.
Solomon learned from ants. He learned from ants. A donkey spoke to Balaam,
Mm-hmm.
the prophet Balaam. Sometimes we have to look past the source and just get the message, like Shasha Wan said.
Yes. Now, but you're
It
supposed
still
to.
feels bad. I understand.
Sometimes that if they're giving you correction and the correction is coming from the scriptures.
Yeah.
Go to Hebrews. I said 10:13, but it's 13 and 17. But also, I want you to read verse 7. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 7.
Hebrews chapter 13, you said start at 7?
Yes, sir.
Now, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 7. Remember them which have the rule over you.
Because some people have the rule over you, like the Pharisees and the scribes. Christ said, "Whatever they tell you to do, that do, but do not after do it. Do not after their works.
Yeah.
For they say and do not. They're
They
hypocrites.
say and do not.
So don't follow bad examples, but follow what they tell you to do." Here he said, "What? Remember them that have the what?
Remember them which have the rule over you,
Go ahead."
who have spoken unto you the word of the Most High.
So even if they're hypocritical, even if they're manipulators, if they're telling you the word of God, if it's the word of God, then what? Then do it.
You know, they ain't doing it.
Even if they're not doing it. If it's right, if it's coming from the scriptures, then do it. But even if they're bad examples, even if they're hypocritical, hypocrites, you still follow. You still do what you're told. But it's even better, read on.
Whose faith follows.
But it's even better for those that can tell you what to do, who show you the scriptures of what to do, and they have the lifestyle to match what they're teaching.
It's even better.
Then that's even better. For those individuals that practice what they preach, you really want to hold on to their example and their words. Read on.
Considering the end of their conversation.
And what's the end of the conversation? The end of the conversation is where? What is the end of a conversation? It's the summary, it's the point, and it's where the understanding is.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to consider the what?
The end of their conversation.
The end of a person's conversation is what's their point? What point are they trying to drive? Or what are they trying to get me to see? If they're trying to get me to see something spiritual and they're using the word of God, then let me see it. Let me see if there's facts involved or understanding out of what they're telling me by them using the word of God, even if they're hypocritical. So, even if they're fake or they're serpents, Christ said, "All that they bid you to do, that observe and do. Just do as they say, not as they do." So there's ways to deal with people that deal with scriptures that may be hypocrites, that may not live or practice what they preach, but are giving you scriptures. Yeah. You still got to seek for the understanding of it. If that answers the question for the brother. I hope that answers the question. If not, ask another question. It's all good. Give me this point right here. On 34, I want you to read this point right here. It is worth.
Okay.
Yeah. Read that point right there.
Okay. Follow page 134.
And give me the definition of tempest. Read that right there.
Okay. It says, it is worthwhile also.
They said it's worthwhile also. Go ahead.
To consider the wickedness into which a man who flies from the face of the Most High is driven.
He says, so you got some men that will, when they know they're wrong, they're willing to confess and they come to the Most High. You got some people that run away from the Most High because they don't want to have nothing to do with correction. They don't want to have nothing to do with discipline. They don't want to have nothing to do with being shown I'm wrong. And they go away from the Most High. He says you got to consider these particular people that run from the Most High versus coming to the Most High. Read.
Since it is called a tempest.
What does it mean? So get the definition of tempest.
Come on.
Let's start from the first one.
Come on. Tempest. 1828 Webster's Dictionary. Point number 1. An extensive current of wind rushing with great velocity and violence.
Go ahead.
A storm of extreme violence.
He says a storm of what?
Extreme violence.
He says for somebody that runs away from the Lord, what they don't realize is that they're about to embark on a life of what?
Extreme violence.
It's about things in their life is about to change.
Yeah.
So as instead of confessing and coming back to the Most High, I had a chance for the Most High to have mercy on me. But instead, I run the other way, because that's what Cain did. Cain never wanted to confess. He never wanted to see what he did wrong. He never wanted to do no self-examination. He never wanted to take accountability for his mistakes. He wanted to complain about the punishment being too severe, and that's it. Yeah. But he never wanted to see himself. And he went to the land of Nod. But he never came back to the Most High.
Can I pull one point right here?
Yes,
violence, one of the core concepts of violence. We always look at the physical element of violence. And I used to believe years ago that violence is only physical. Right? I used to believe that. That's convenient. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it also says psychological or emotional harm.
Yep.
Actions causing mental trauma, fear, or distress. So when you say a person's going into a tempest, which is violence, what are they going to? They're going to a situation or position causing them to be, I guess, what's the word for it?
Well, that definition you got is great.
Causing them to be exposed to violence. We always say violence is just physical, bloody, and that's like the stereotypical violence idea. But it's also psychological and emotional harm, which is actions causing mental trauma, fear, or distress. You're going to go through a lot of spikes and stressors, and you're going to go through a lot of extreme scenarios that are going to become your story of wickedness. Because we have stories of wickedness. We have testimonies of, like the scripture says, the testimonies of his niggardliness will not be
doubted of.
What does that mean? He has a bunch of testimonies of all these extreme scenarios he got in because he was off the grid with the Lord. He wasn't in the Most High's good standing. So now he's in all his extreme events have to happen to him, where cops are pulling guns out on him, people are choking him out, all kinds of situations are happening, people are looking for you, bosses are firing you on the whim when you got to pay rent and you ain't getting your check for 2 weeks, so bills ain't getting paid. All these critical scenarios happen, like Proverbs chapter 1, talking about these calamities, what the scripture says.
Yeah.
These calamities happen when the Lord says he's going to laugh.
Okay.
Right? These events are happening, or extreme events are happening. You're asking for extreme events because you're in the land of Nod. You're in your Nod. You're in your land of disconnection.
Yep.
So you're asking for distressors.
Yep. And that violence is he's going to explain it. He says that definition of tempest. He says a storm of what?
It says a storm of extreme violence.
Go ahead.
We usually apply the word to a steady wind of long continuance. But we say also of a tornado.
We say, what happens when a man's life becomes like a tornado?
Chaos.
What does a tornado? What does a tornado do?
Rips everything apart, bro.
It rips everything. Anything in a tornado's path is uprooted and destroyed.
Yeah.
It's but you understand what Cain is Cain doesn't realize when he's choosing to separate more, never confess, never take accountability.
Yeah.
He's not considering what his life is about to be like. He's just separating himself from the Most High, not understanding the consequence. But any man or woman that chooses to go away from the Most High is sailing into a storm. Read.
Okay. It says, since it is called a tempest, it says, the lawgiver showing by this expression that he who gives way to inconsiderate impulses.
It says, for the man that gives way to inconsiderate what?
Impulses.
Meaning, I didn't consider what my decisions were going to cost me. Just like Cain. Cain took out his brother, but he never considered what his decision would cost him. He gave in to an inconsiderate impulse. I didn't really think about the full scale of the punishment that I was going to receive by getting out of pocket with the Father. And never choosing to do any inventory to come back home to him. Read.
Time. It says that he who gives way to inconsiderate impulses without any stability,
Without any what?
without any stability
Read.
or firmness, exposes himself
Exposes himself to what?
to surf and violent tossing.
He says he would expose himself to surf and what?
And violent.
Tossing.
And violent tossing. Read.
Like those of the sea.
Like those of the what?
Of the sea.
Like being thrown in the ocean. Read on.
When it is agitated in the winter season by contrary winds.
It says like when you watch these ships that go into the North Sea during wintertime, they right off the coast of Spain and Portugal, you got a little channel where all the surfers go. And every once in a while, you'll watch a surfer catch 100-foot wave or 80-foot wave.
Yeah.
You know, it's once a year.
There's a movie about that. With,
Point Break.
Yeah, that what's that dude? Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze. Yeah. Once a year, you got these weather patterns that come in, and you can catch an 80-foot wave. Most of the time, these dudes fall off the surfboard, and the water breaks their spine.
What?
They get their spine snapped.
Wow, I didn't know it was real. Huh?
Yeah.
This is water.
Shit,
Everybody says that.
It's just water. Yeah, but water acts as concrete when you hit it from 80 feet up in the air. It's the surface area is hard. For you to break that surface area, it's like concrete. It breaks your body up, breaks your bones, snaps spines.
Yeah.
He said, but this is life. This is what Cain was. This is Cain's life that he was going into, not realizing how bad life was about to get.
Yeah.
He says, like a surf, or like the sea, like what?
It says, surf and violent tossing, like those of the sea, when it is agitated in the winter season by contrary winds, and has never even a single glimpse of calm or tranquility.
So what Cain wasn't realizing, by not confessing, by not acknowledging his sin, by not doing any inventory, by not going to the elders or not coming to the Most High and say, I made a mistake. How do I get myself right with you? He chose to go the other way.
Yeah.
Not realizing what life was about to be like the other way.
Yeah.
The other way in the land of Nod, that land of wandering, life was about to become very, very unstable.
Okay.
But why is that? Read this right here. It says, therefore now, pointed out.
Okay. It says, having therefore now pointed out each variety, the tranquility of the good man.
It says, because good men in life, they get rewarded with what?
Tranquility.
Tranquility. Read on.
And the state of agitation in which the bad man lives.
It says, but the bad man lives in what?
In agitation.
In agitation.
And surf.
He lives in that surf and violent waves.
Yeah.
Why does the Most High do that? Because the conditions of life matches the inside of his thought process.
Are you talking about two aspects of a man?
Yes.
Okay.
The good man lives in tranquility. And the Most High rewards that man with peace. And that's what tranquility is. Right. Tranquility, by definition, is actually a piece of heaven.
Okay.
But he says, but the bad man lives in instability. There's never any stability. There's never no guarantees. Nothing's ever stay. Every day is up and down.
He's agitated.
Yeah, because he's agitated.
It says Psalms 37:37. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright. For the end of that man is
peace. There you go.
That's for the good man.
That's for the good man. The good man gets peace. Not the man that's perfect, but the one that's when he makes a mistake, he knows where to come back home to. Through confession, through repentance, through acknowledging his faults, through asking himself, where did I go wrong at? What do I need to do to get back right with the Most High? But for the people that don't want to have none of that, they don't want to see themselves, and they just want to go live their life, the Most High said, okay, well, your life is about to be like a person that's about to sail into a storm. He's got the perfect storm waiting for you. Give me I'm gonna prove it though. Give me Psalms 107. and start at verse 22.
Psalms 107 and 22.
Yep.
They that go down to the sea in ships,
He said, because those that take risks, that go down to the sea in ships. Read on.
that do business in great waters.
He said they do business in what?
Great waters.
These are people that take risks.
Take risk.
They take a lot of risks. These are risk takers.
Yeah, I get it.
They do business in great waters. Read on.
These see the works of the Lord.
It says they see what?
The works of the Lord.
People that take risk in life, they really get to see how the Most High really deal with a person who's out of pocket.
Good or bad.
They get to see what life really looks like when you separate from the Most High. A lot of people don't know what life feels like and what it looks like because they've been in the comfort of their own home. They've been sheltered.
Yeah.
They've been in a plush environment that was mapped out by their parents. They really don't know what life is really like.
Yeah.
They don't know the tribulations and the ups and downs and the highs and lows. They've never experienced how bad life can be. Because they've been protected and shielded. He said, but people that take risks, they get to understand what it means to see the works of the Lord.
You get to find out.
You get to find out. You're going to learn something. You get to see what life is like being disconnected by taking chances unnecessarily.
Yeah.
He said, what you got? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say.
And somebody didn't like that either. Somebody must be taking some chances.
Somebody's
They're
taking
not
chances.
winning.
Hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
It's a 3-pointer.
Somebody.
I was gonna
yeah.
say, I don't know if y'all seen this on YouTube. It went viral. It's where this news reporter, he's on the side of a beach. You know how he has a weather jacket on. There's a hurricane coming in through the sea. He's on the microphone and the wind is blowing. He's like, and he was right by the ocean. I don't know if you've seen this.
There's many videos like that. Yeah.
So anyway, it's going on, and it's coming in, and it's just everybody needs to stay in the house, and then it shows this huge wave, and at the top of this wave, there's a dude riding it. He's riding it. He's surfing it. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I ain't seen it.
Yeah. Now, he's experiencing the weight of the Lord in those.
Well, you know, surfers like to go out in the storm because that's when they catch the biggest wave. The thrill seekers, junkies, thrill junkies. They want to experience the biggest wave come in, especially in South Africa. The reason why surfing is big in South Africa because you got two oceans meeting together.
Oh, colliding.
You got two oceans meeting together at the same time. You got the Pacific and the Indian Ocean colliding. Oh, I'm sorry, Atlantic and Indian Ocean are meeting together at the bottom of South Africa. So
cold and warm.
So cold and warm causes these huge, massive waves, and that's why the best surfing. You got warm water meets cold water, and when them two oceans collide, man, it creates these giant waves. The problem with South Africa, you got not killer whales, you got great white sharks down there. You know, because they like the cold water.
Yeah,
they don't really like the warm water. But read on.
Psalms 107 and 24. These see the works of the Lord and his wonders in the deep.
And so what people don't realize is they don't realize what life is like when you step away from the Most High's protection and peace. People have no idea how real life can get, how deep life can get, how cold and dark life can get. Because the ocean represents chaos in history, throughout history. It represents instability. That's why he's talking the way he's talking about how life is like a person when they go away from they branch away from the Lord, their life becomes completely unstable. Yeah. They become destabilized. Read on.
Verse 25. For he commanded and raiseth the stormy wind.
It says because the Most High does what?
For he commandeth and raiseth the stormy wind.
So when the Most High is shaking somebody's life up, who's doing that?
The Most High.
The Most High is doing it. You know what they call that in meteorology? They call it a rogue wave. A rogue wave.
Oh, yeah. They come out of nowhere.
They come out. That means the ocean is completely calm. There is no signs of bad weather. The ocean is calm. It is pleasant. It's sunny. There is no wind. There's no tremor going on. There's no signs of seismic activity. There's no earthquake going on. There's nothing going on. And out of nowhere, a wave. This happened in 2021, and off one of these oil drilling platforms out in the ocean that drill for oil. They said that they have buoys out there, and they have these buoys out there that register wave activity. And one of the buoys registered a wave out of nowhere. It was calm. The sea was calm, and out of nowhere, a wave that reached 25 meters came out of nowhere and slammed against the oil drilling platform.
Wow.
25 meters. Now you do the math. That's a meter. 3 feet is like a meter. So you look like 75 to like 80 feet. It's actually bigger than 3 feet.
Yeah.
82 feet. So 82 feet is an 8-story building. So you got a wall of water coming out of nowhere that there were no signs, no warnings, no wind blowing, no nothing. And that's just out of nowhere, water just decides to just rise up 8 stories tall and smash. They said it was going at like 200 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
8 stories tall. But the Most High said He's controlling the waves. He's controlling the surf and the violence of the water, of the ocean. He says what?
For he commandeth and raiseth the stormy wind.
So when the Most High creates the things around you to become unstable, who's doing it?
The Most High.
The Most High is creating the instability. Because he's trying to show a person, oh, you want to know what, you want to take chances. Oh, you want to do things your way. No problem. Read on.
Says, which lifted up the waves thereof.
Wow.
They mount up to the heaven. They go down again to the depths.
It said they crashed down into the what?
To the depths.
If you ever see videos of the tsunami in Indonesia in 2011, where over 100,000 people have still yet to be found. And you watch the videos, people had home videos, they had home cameras. And they were doing they had these cameras on the beach, and kids were out on the beach, old folks was out on the beach. It was beautiful that day. It was beautiful. The water was blue and clear. You had women sunbathing, kids running and splashing and building sand castles, old men out there walking and jogging. And then the camera, somebody has the home camera, and they're at a distance, and they zoom in out in the water. They're looking at the beach first, and they're from the hotel. They're in the hotel window on the balcony or something. And then they put the camera out in the ocean. And then out in the ocean, what nobody understood is that a 9.9 or something earthquake ruptured right off the coast of Indonesia. So the water draws back. And people don't know why the water is drawn back into the ocean. Why is the water drawn back into the sea? And the beach is getting longer, and fish are being exposed. Yeah. Then you got people they don't realize birds are going crazy because they're eating fish. They're catching fish.
Kids playing in the inner sand of the water that already got washed out. You remember that very famous one, little boy who's walking around.
Yeah, picking up fish. People picking up fish. They don't even realize that when the water's drawing back, there's been a major displacement. So that water underneath the tectonic plates, that water is coming back to the ocean because it's building power as it's coming back like a rubber band. It's being pulled back like a rubber band. And once you let it go, it's coming back with force. So people are out there, the water starts to draw back. Fish are just flopping out in the ocean. Birds are going crazy. They love it. But you see animals starting to run.
Animals know
that. You see animals, some dogs start to run.
Get out of there.
Some animals can see things a little bit before people can.
For real.
And they start going to high ground. And then when they got the camera up and they're zooming in, and as they see this wall of water coming in, and one by one there's bunch of fishing boats out there, and the fishing boats start to turn over one by one.
God.
And
Flipping?
they start flipping, just capsizing.
Wow.
The wave is just drowning everything. All the fishing boats and all the merchant ships are just flipping over. Boom. And then they're zooming in the camera, and then they zoom back in on the people on the beach, and people got no idea what's coming. Kids are still playing, old people still walking, everybody's just doing normal things on the beach. But look at the videos in 2011 of that tsunami where 100,000 people are still yet to be found. And then all of a sudden you see this wave come, and it's getting closer. And then as people start to realize, by then it's too late. And then the panic sets in. The first wave that comes in wasn't even the worst one.
No.
The first one washed up,
It was progressive.
and the water was dirty. The water was dirty, it was black. Because it pushed water from the bottom of the ocean up.
Whole spirit change.
Yeah, the water was dirty, wasn't green no more, wasn't blue no more. It was dirty and muddy. And the first wave came and hit, and people started running, and then it pulled the people that got water, it pulled them back out in the ocean. The first wave just washed people up and sucked them back out, and then the second wave was the big one.
Yeah.
Then it completely engulfed the whole beach. And anybody that was there was gone. But within 2 minutes of the video, there was nobody left. There wasn't an umbrella, a vehicle, a hula hoop. It wasn't nothing left on the beach. Nothing. And the only people that survived was the people that kept running up inland.
Right.
And when the totality of it was all said and done, 100,000 people were gone. And then the wave was so strong that when you look at Indonesia on a map of where Indonesia and Madagascar is in Africa, the island next to Africa, a wave went from Indonesia and traveled 600 miles per hour and washed up 9 people on the beach of Madagascar, which is over 6,000 miles away. Or it's either 3,000 to 6,000 miles away from Indonesia. That's how fast that water moved. It went across the Indian Ocean and wiped out 9 people that was walking on the beach of Madagascar of a tsunami that happened on the other side of the planet. So the Most High says what?
Says they mount up to the heaven, they go down again to the depths. Their soul is melted because of trouble.
It said, what does the Most High do to somebody that walks away from him?
Their soul is melted because of trouble.
It says the Most High caused their confidence to melt. The Most High will take that confidence away. Yeah. He'll knock that pride out of their mouth. See, what Cain didn't understand that he was setting himself up for, he was about to walk into a hurricane.
Yeah.
He held on to his pride. He didn't want to confess. He didn't want to come clean. He didn't realize he was about to walk into a storm. Mm-hmm. He was about to find out what life is really like when the Most High is disconnected from you. That's why he said, give me that in Genesis chapter 4, verse 14, and then finish that Amiyati. Matter of fact, hold that Amiyati. Yeah.
Genesis 4:14.
No, I want you to read. Read that.
Genesis 4:14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid.
It says, and from thy face shall I be what?
Hid.
What does it mean when the Most High hides his face from you? What does that mean? What is life going to be like when the Most High hides his face from you? Give me that Micah 3 and 4.
He don't have his hand on you no more.
He's not protecting you no more. When the Most High when you don't want to be next to the Most High and come clean and get right and come back to him, the Most High said, no problem, I'm going to hide my face from you. What does that mean? Give me that Micah 3 and 4. Read that.
God. Micah 3 and 4. Then shall they cry unto the Lord.
Then shall they what?
Then shall they cry unto the Lord.
Read on.
But he will not hear them.
It said, but he will not what?
He will not hear them.
What does it mean when the Most High hide his face from you?
He will not hear them.
The Most High is shutting you off. He don't want nothing to do with you. You don't want to confess? You don't want to humble down? You don't acknowledge that you do nothing wrong? The Most High said, no problem. I'm gonna hide my face from you. That was in Japan. That was the what you got right there on the screen. That was in Fukushima. No, Fukushima. So that was bad too. That was another one. So
All right.
he said when the Most High, when you don't come clean and you don't want to confess and you don't want to come right, get right with the Most High, he says, no problem, I'm gonna hide my face from you. This is what Cain was afraid of. He said, no, you're gonna hide your face from me. Cain understood what that meant. What does that mean? Read.
He will even hide his face from them at that time.
Read it from the top again. I'm sorry.
Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them.
The Most High not hearing you no more. I don't want to listen to you no more.
I want to hear this.
You had a chance to come clean. I asked you where your brother was. You said you didn't know. You came back with a dumb answer and said, am I my brother's keeper?
Right.
I'm not responsible for him.
Some sarcasm.
You came back sarcastic. But now when you cry, now that your life is in the ocean,
Right.
now your life is in the turbulent, is in a storm. Now you want to cry. And the Most High said, no, I don't want to, I'm going to hide my face from you. What does that mean?
He will even hide his face from them at that time.
They say, when the Most High decides to hide his face from us, he don't even want to hear us. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Don't cry to me now.
Yeah.
Don't cry that life is unstable.
Lord.
Now you're in a tempest. Now you're in a storm. Now your confidence is broken. Now your heart is melting. Now you're full of fear. Now you want to cry out. Give me that Psalms 104 and 104 verse 29. Read that.
Psalms chapter 104 and verse 29.
Read that.
Thou hidest thy face. They are troubled.
What happens when the Most High hide his face from us?
They are troubled.
Yes, you are in trouble. Anytime the Most High hide his face from us, better believe that represents trouble for us. That's not a good thing. When the Most High said, okay, you want to play? You want to see what life is really like? I'm going to make it hard for you. I'm going to turn your life upside down. And then you're going to be screaming. I'm going to act like I don't hear you. He said what?
Thou hidest thy face. They are troubled.
And sometimes that means what? Read on.
Thou takest away their breath.
Read on.
They die.
Sometimes that's when the Most High done with somebody. Sometimes he just take them off the earth. I'm done with you. But you know what? The Most High give many chances. He gives many chances. It doesn't have to be that extreme. But before he does that, he lets life start to show you how real it get. Things start getting real unstable. Read that right there, Karai. Finish that. Yes, sir. Hold that and read this. I want you to get that. That's good. Read.
Cain, Philo, page 134. It says, but as when a ship, having been tossed in the sea, is agitated,
Just like a ship that's tossed around in the ocean. Read.
it is then no longer fit to take a voyage or to anchor in harbor.
What's wrong with that ship?
It can't even do normal processes.
It ain't good for nothing.
They can't even do a normal process. The normal process of a ship is to anchor in a harbor and have that rope on it and just sit there all day and ride that little tide.
It's grounded.
It's grounded. And that's like it's waiting for whatever you want it to do.
Yeah.
You can't even do anything with this ship.
You can't use it. It's so broken up, you can't use it.
Yeah.
The Most High break men like that.
Yeah.
They're not good for nothing.
Yeah.
Read.
But being tossed about hither and thither, it leans first to one side and then to the other.
That's how the Most High makes our life. Life becomes extremely unstable. Things lean from one side to my finances lean from one side to the other. My marriage leans from one side to another. My housing situation leans from one side to another. My job situation leans from one side to another. Everything starts to become unstable and unraveled. Read on.
And struggles in vain against the waves. So the wicked man, yielding to a perverse and insane disposition.
So if the wicked man don't change, if he don't come clean, if he never confesses, I become like the ship that's tossed around out of control and eventually become good for nothing. Because I don't want to come clean. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of a life in crisis. This is not the finale. This is just the beginning.
Stage one.
This is stage one. Read?
There's different stages.
Yeah.
It says, and being unable to regulate his voyage through life without disaster.
He says the wicked man will not be able to regulate his life or his voyage without what?
Without disaster.
So guess what? What do you call that life that's guaranteed disaster? That's a life of crisis.
Yeah.
You're in crisis because it's guaranteed disaster. Because why? Because I didn't want to confess. Because I didn't want to acknowledge my sins. I didn't want to come clean. I didn't want to go to counsel. I didn't want to get advice. I didn't want to talk about the things that I'm weak at. I didn't want to talk about or come clean with the things that I think, my negativity. Never wanted to acknowledge anything.
Never want to be honest, because if I do give a quote unquote confession, it's a deception confession.
Yeah.
I'm not being transparent. It's like a half-hearted effort. Yeah. Man, I feel like this thing I could have done better. Like what? I don't know.
I'll get back with you.
What kind of counsel? What kind of opportunity for closure and clarity are you giving the counselor?
Yep. Not honest. Finish that.
Okay. It says, and being unable to regulate his voyage through life without disaster,
Man,
is constantly tossed about in perpetual expectation of an overturning of his life.
It says, I live life expecting a perpetual what?
overturning.
Overturning. Bad things keep happening to
My
me.
life's upside down is the conversation.
Yep. Out of order. My life is out of order.
Yeah.
Why would the Most High take a man to that extreme? Finish that, Amiyathi?
Micah?
Yep. No, in Psalms.
I never forget the point.
Oh, no. He had, I think, you had,
I had Psalms 104.
no. You had Psalms 107. You had Psalm 104. I went to Psalms 107. Yeah, finish that. It was 107 and 27. Yeah, you could use it. And the other one that you pulled too. Read.
Psalms 107 and 27. They reel to and fro and staggered like drunken man.
It says,
Staggered like a drunken man.
my life becomes like a drunken man. No stability.
Yeah.
No firm foundation. Can't stand up on my own 2 feet. Everything just keeps throwing me side to side. Life keeps tossing me side to side. No stability. Read.
And are at their wits' end.
And I finally am at my what?
Wits' end.
That means I'm at the end of my intellect. Wits is intellect.
Yeah.
That means I don't have any answers. The Most High will eventually break a person down where you don't have any answers for your situation. Your situation is so out of control, you don't have any more answers. Yeah, you can't think straight. But that life is set up for those that don't want to confess, that don't want to come clean. What you got, Daryl?
Real quick, Proverbs 5 and 22. Proverbs 5:22, and then 23.
Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 22. his own iniquities shall take the wicked himself.
His own iniquities, which are deep-seated errors. His deep-seated opinions, his deep-seated bad behaviors that he repeats. Because we repeat the same behaviors multiple times, just in different situations. I repeat the same behavior at the job. I repeat the same behavior at my marriage. I repeat the same behavior in the camp. I repeat the same behavior everywhere I go. Everywhere you go, there you are. So his deep-seated iniquities are his deep implanted negative patterns that have gone unbroken. Read.
And he shall be holden with the cords of his sin.
He should be holding with the what?
With the cords of his sin.
Meaning that you're starting to become restrained and restrained by your sin. Your sin is in control. Not you. People say, "Oh, I control the dope, don't let the dope control you."
Right.
Let the money make you.
That's crazy.
Whatever sin the person is entertaining, that sin becomes the dominant force of every decision. If his pride is the iniquity, then pride is the dominant force of every decision. If lust is the iniquity, then lust is the force of every decision. I can't control myself now. Read.
And he shall be withholden with the cords of his sin.
So now I'm trapped in my sin. Man, I'm trapped in the consequence and I'm in the impulse, and I'm compelled by my deep errors. My lust compels every speech, every action. My hate or anger pushes every action. My envy determines every action. Keep reading.
43. He shall die without instruction.
There you go. Well, then here you go. You're going to get what you want. You're going to die without what?
Without instruction.
Because the lust was blocking instruction. The rebellion was blocking instruction. The anger was blocking instruction. The pride was blocking instruction. Whatever vice people entertain, whatever deep-seated error that people want to continue to repeat and not get corrected, that's your undoing. And you die without instruction. I mean, when I say die, someone's going to physical death. But it's also you just keep fading spiritually. And you get weaker and weaker and weaker because death is a process. Your clarity gets more and more dark. Your mindset gets more and more dismal. Your attitude gets more and more disconnected. Your communication gets more and more poor. Your attendance to reading is further and far between. Your every element, even your hygiene, starts getting worse. That's how you know a person's spiritually dying. Every element of discipline about that person starts to decline. Keep reading.
And in the greatness of his folly.
And in the greatness, this is the point. This is that storm. This is that, you know, when you watch a movie, there's that thing that happens out, they call it the what? The climax? The climax. This is when all, it's like people when they drive cars and they keep texting and driving and nothing happens until that one day that it's just that perfect storm where the road's a little wetter than normal. And that one guy's eating a hamburger and he's focusing on something. His mind, it's just two people, both in their errors, cross paths. Two scenarios in their error cross paths. Read that point.
9. And in the greatness of his folly.
In the intensity or the abundance, meaning you made so many mistakes that there was probability. The Most High have mercy, 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 mercy. But this is the 15th time you've done the same prideful act. The 15th time you've taken this risk. Because someone's going to go into those that are risk takers.
Yeah.
Risk takers through folly. Read.
He shall go astray.
What happens?
And in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray.
People die without instruction, and they go astray in the greatness, meaning the abundance of their lack of correction. Yeah. I haven't been corrected, nor can I be corrected, so they end up going astray.
And that's that wandering.
That's that land of Nod.
That's that land of Nod. So, but the Most High will take that person's life through ups and downs for sometimes not to destroy him completely, but to break him.
Yeah.
Because the Most High is in the business of preserving and saving souls.
Yeah.
Not just destroying people for the sake of destroying people. But why would the Most High break them? Finish that in Psalms 107. And then give me that, where you was at, Amiathia. 28 and read verse 29, and we're gonna call it a day.
Psalms 107:28. Then they cry unto the Lord, and they're troubled.
It says the Most High got to break us and send us through the storm, so that we can drop that pride and root out that confidence, and then come back to the Most High. So did I have to go through a storm to get back to the Father?
No.
Some people do. Some people have to go through a tornado to get back to the Father.
Yeah.
Some people have to go through the most worst case scenarios, the most instability, to come back home to the Most High.
Like the prodigal son.
Yeah, like the prodigal son.
He's one of the best examples. There's a lot of them. He's one of the best examples of you gotta see her eat with the pigs.
You gotta eat corn husks. You gotta eat corn husks.
That's hungry.
And pig food.
That's hungry.
Yes, sir.
Or, adding to what Davion said, he sends you through a dream while you sleep, and it was actually like a real version of hell, or you being tormented, and people tell you those stories, and then after they get that, they straighten up and do right sometimes.
Yeah, the Most High The Most High has to sometimes send people's life through ups and downs, highs and lows, and then just to break them. Yeah. Then they do what? Read on.
Says, then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he bringeth them out of their distress.
And then the Most High save them out of their distress. Read on.
He maketh the storm a calm.
Then, when they come back to the Most High, then life starts to get stable again.
There's a movie about that. What's that movie where one of my favorite actors? White boy, man. He did Money Never Sleeps. It's called The Game. There's a movie called The Game.
I haven't seen it.
Oh man.
I thought you were about to say Forrest Gump when he was him and Lieutenant Dan when Lieutenant Dan was cursing the Most High.
Oh, he was definitely
at the top of the ship.
He was out there. He was out there. But this story is called The Game, and this white boy, bro, he said his life was boring. He got tired of how boring his life was, and so he went to this company, and their corporation does practical jokes or elaborate pranks. So they'll pay everybody in your life to be a part of this elaborate prank, so just so you can have some fun in your life. He ended up going to this point where he got to the point where these events kept happening in domino effect to where he almost committed suicide. Yeah. And in the movie, I don't see the whole movie, but at that point he actually got on top of a building. He's ready to die, commit suicide because his life got out of control. But he didn't know it was the prank.
It was part of the prank.
He paid money.
He got what he asked for.
He got what he asked for.
Hold on. What you got?
I looked it up.
Who said it? Michael Sheen?
It came out in 1997.
It was the.
Did it come out around
It
1977?
was the daddy
Just so
Sheen.
that the people that
Not Charlie Sheen, but Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas. I love that dude. Listen, Michael Douglas. Look up 1997 The Game, a psychological thriller about Michael Douglas, or not about him, but it's a movie he stars in. But it's that spirit of a person.
We wanted some fun.
Your regular day life is just boring. You just need more. He had all the money. He had access to all these things, but he needs to feel alive.
It's like $1 million prank.
But you know, people want to feel alive until they get dipped in an unstable life.
Yeah.
And then they want to come back to the Lord. Finish that, Amiati?
He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still.
Go ahead.
Then they are glad.
Then they glad for what?
Because they be quiet.
It said then they appreciate what?
Quiet.
Then they appreciate peace and quiet.
It was boring.
It was born at first. Life be born at first. So what we do, we deviate, separate from the Most High, and then life gets real, and then we cry, we come back home, and then we're thankful.
God.
Then we appreciate the Lord for peace and quiet.
Yeah.
But then we have to go through the storm. Sometimes we do.
Sometimes we got.
Depending on the person's pride.
Yeah.
The Most High got to send them through that tornado. He said, then they appreciate the what?
Quiet.
Go ahead.
So he bringeth them unto their desired haven.
And then the ship can come in, and then they can dock.
He's like kissing the land.
Then they kissing the ground. Thank the Lord, I'm home.
Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord. Just like the people that were stuck up in the outer space for 2 years, because that damn Elon Musk had to go get them, because NASA couldn't get them.
Oh yeah, they left him out there.
They left him out there for 2 years.
The space station. They left him out there.
They was in the space station for two extra years. They got left. What's the first thing they did when they got back home? Kiss the ground.
Oh yeah. Don't appreciate it when you got it.
The Most High send a person life through instability to make them appreciate peace, to make them appreciate quietness and calmness. Because a lot of times we don't realize how bad things can be, but it doesn't have to get that bad.
Right.
All we got to do is confess, acknowledge our mistakes, ask the Most High, what would you need from me? What do you want me to do to get right? How do I get right back with you? How do I make my mistakes right? How do I rewrite my wrongs? But everybody's different. But ultimately, the Most High will take a man's life through complete instability and hell on high water until they come back and appreciate peace and quiet. And that's that prodigal son.
Yeah.
But also, Cain doubled down. He never came back home.
Yeah.
He doubled down. And that's what we're going to get into next week on Wednesday is stage 2. What will the Most High do if a person don't want to come back home? All right. So shalom. We'll see you again on Friday, and we'll be. Now we guys got Friday again. Probably another continuation.
Oh, yeah, continuation.
So shout out and shalom to everybody online. Have a good night.